Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our #1 product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Breaking news. Shots were fired today at the Chiefs Super Bowl parade. 8 to 10 people were injured. 2 people were taken into custody for more investigation. Stay tuned to ESPN Radio for the latest on this story. A stunning what-if scenario from the NBA. ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski and Ramona Shelburne reporting Warriors made a bid to acquire LeBron James at the trade deadline. Golden State eager to present a package to the Lakers, but neither LA nor James were ultimately willing to explore it. ESPN NBA analyst Chiney Ogwumike.
To me, this implicitly said, as Warriors, we're not enough. This shows that Steph and Draymond are aware that they need more. They need more star power.
NBA Commissioner Adam Silver told the Pat McAfee Show Las Vegas definitely on the league's list of cities under consideration for expansion franchises. NFL, a day after 49ers coach Kyle Shanahan said he expected his coaching staff back largely intact. The team fired defensive coordinator Steve Wilks. Shanahan told reporters it ended up not being the right fit. Ohio State fired basketball coach Chris Holtmann. OSU owes him $14 million in guaranteed salary.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Canty. Coming up Thursday, I'll tell you which NFL teams are poised to take a huge step back next season. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
Let's ride.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
You're a loser, Matt.
Hey, shut up, kid. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Soup. And Mr. Toby Tom Blake. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there, make it a good one. Oh, by the way, it's hump day. Voice isn't all the way back yet.
It's hump day.
You notice it there, Muse?
I noticed it a little bit.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
I was yelling at T-Bob during Whiskey and Wine Sunday.
Hump day.
Voice was going out.
It's hump day.
Not all the way gone.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
But it's hanging. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Not all the way gone, not all the way back.
No doubt. Somewhere in between.
It's hump day.
Somewhere in between.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
LSU basketball loses at Florida.
Hump day.
Heartbreaker.
It's hump day.
Urban Dictionary later this hour.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
We're going to the Bay Area in 12 minutes.
Hump day.
Going to learn about Klint Kubiak.
It's hump day.
Shea Dixon in 1 hour.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Cody Worsham joining us in hour 3.
Hump day.
LSU, that Netflix deal.
It's hump day.
They're getting $1 million for it.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
We're going to talk about it.
Hump day.
On Hump Day.
It's hump day.
Okay, let's get cranking. We got a ton to do, and let us begin as we do every single day, except on Hump Day, when we start with Hump Day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
Okay. LSU played Florida in basketball. Don't go anywhere, Muse. Sit down, please, because you should done during hump day. You're good. I thought you had it in here. LSU played Florida in basketball. They lost by 2. Had a really good look at the end. Here's how it sounded on the LSU radio network.
The freshman launches off to the right, no good. LSU gets it. Fountain has it. Right.
He's going all the way.
Cross the timeline with 4 seconds. Flips it to Baker. Baker with 2 to right. Oh! Missed on the jumper, and the game is over.
It was a really good look, too. If you didn't watch the game, LSU got down by 20 with about 15 minutes to play. It was there at the under 16. And it was not looking good. And really one heck of a rally for Matt McMahon's squad. Terrell Ward hit a couple of big threes, one that got LSU down to single digits, and then one that tied the game at 78. My goodness, LSU would get within 1. They'd foul Florida, who would only make 1 free throw, and so the Tigers had an opportunity at 82-80. And that's the sequence you heard right there from Chris Blair and John Brady. Jordan Wright had a runner in the lane from 5 feet. I mean, it was right there, and he just left it short. So really disappointing. Here was Matt McMahon after the loss down in Gainesville.
Yeah, it's a tough one, Chris. It's just all there is to it. I thought our guys did a great job in the second half of flipping the script of the game. We were able to execute offensively. I think we shot over 60% from the floor and from 3. That enabled us to mix some defenses and change the look there on the other end. Couldn't quite secure the defensive glass the way we needed to on some key possessions. Yeah, I thought left some points on the board there. In a first half of a game, when the opponent shoots 66% as they did, your margin of error on offense is non-existent. And we had a couple bad turnovers and missed some free throws in the first half. But credit to our players, they found a way to get back in the game and give ourselves a chance there at the end.
There's truth into that. You're down 20 with 15 to go on the road. It would have been very easy to roll over. They didn't. They got back in and gave themselves a shot. Usually when you have a game that ends 82-80, you can look at the box score and there's going to be a statistical outlier. When you see a game that appears very close, there's going to be something that jumps out, and this is certainly the case from last night. LSU shot 50.9%, so 51%. Florida shot 48.5% from the floor. From 3, LSU 52%, Florida 23%. There's your story about how LSU was able to get back into it. Made 11 threes, Florida made 4. So the disparity is the thing that is the outlier. Florida out-rebounded LSU 43-29, and therein was the game. Points in the paint, Florida 46, LSU 28. Florida dominated the glass, they dominated the paint, they dominated the game. It's how they built their big lead, and ultimately how they were able to hang on and win that one against LSU. So we know the thing that this LSU team lacks, they have shooting. They don't have rim protection. They don't have a big post presence. It cost them the game against Georgia. I mean, you had forced a missed shot. All you need to do is grab a rebound. Hunter Dean had the box out, couldn't grab the rebound. Offensive board put back, and 1, Georgia wins. And that's the margin this team is dealing with. But, and I know nobody wants to hear this, man. I know it. You know what I'm going to say. Nobody wants to hear it. But it's true, and it needs to be said. While you're not into moral victors, and I'm not telling you should be into moral victories, sometimes you have to recalibrate how you define progress, okay? This is a team that a year ago, a program a year ago, that won 2 conference games. 2. Remember, Will Wade's first season, he was taking over for Johnny Jones when they won 2 league games. It was the worst season in 50 years at LSU, literally in 50 years, when they won 2 conference games. Will Wade's first year, he kind of piecemealed a roster together, and they made it to the NIT. When you look at this team, it's very similar. A year ago was awful. They won 2 conference games, and they piecemealed a roster together with some good veteran players, and they're at 4 conference wins, and they've been close in a few others. And you could look down the stretch and say, man, they're going to have an opportunity. But when you're a team like this and you play in these 50-50 games, You got to find a way to win them, and LSU isn't. They've yet to win a one-possession game. And you can look at A&M at what happened in that one in Baton Rouge. You could look at the road game against Georgia. You could look at what happened last night. And while they've shown great effort and fight and all that stuff, look, LSU's been outclassed by teams that are better than they are. They were outclassed by Alabama. They were outclassed by Tennessee, and that's going to happen. And you still got South Carolina and Kentucky coming up, and it's not likely you're going to win either of those. But you'll have a chance down the stretch, as we've talked about. It really was, I mean, we said it when the stretch was coming. They had to beat Arkansas because otherwise you were going to be staring down the barrel of a 9-game losing streak, and you're not going to have an opportunity to win again until February 24th when you're home against Mississippi State. So, look, maybe you can go play a great game this weekend on the road in Columbia against South Carolina at 2:30 and steal a win against the 11th ranked team. Not likely, but maybe. Maybe you can come home and you play Kentucky that doesn't play a lick of defense and manage to have a great crowd, a great effort, and win that one. Maybe not. But you got an opportunity in that stretch run, and that's why you got to keep your head above water, man. You got 5 games down the stretch that are all winnable. If you manage somehow to go 4-1 in that, even if you lose to South Carolina and Kentucky, you manage to go 4-1 in that stretch. You're at 8 conference wins. I'm not telling you 8-10 in the league is what you're gunning for, but 8-10 in the league, maybe winning a game in the SEC tournament, that could get you in the NIT. And if this team makes the postseason, that's progress. It's not what we want. I understand that, but it's progress from where you were to where you are now, and that's the thing that's so important. You got to pull back and take the 10,000-foot view of where this program was the day Matt McMahon was hired and where they are now, and there's undeniable progress that he has made in this time. And the Cavalry's on the way, y'all. I mean, you got 2 top 50 recruits in the country signed for next year, and I know you don't want to hear about next year, but it is easy to see when you look at the path that they have made progress from where they were to where they are, and there's reason to believe that they're far from finished climbing. So they've got plenty of room for improvement, no doubt. They've got opportunity the remainder of the season as well. Disappointing one last night, but it's a tale of 2 stories. It's massively disappointing that you didn't find a way to win it at the end, but encouraging that you were down 20, you didn't quit, you played your behind off, and you got back in it with a shot that had a floater in the lane at the buzzer to tie it and send it to overtime. So they'll try again, man. Try again on Saturday against South Carolina. It doesn't get any easier until after that Kentucky game. All right. Show Open is brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy in Louisiana with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of AFR. Big shout out, of course, we tell you Bud Light, the official beer of the LSU Tigers, and baseball at the box. We're 2 days away, y'all. In 47 hours from right now, they will be playing baseball at Alec Box Stadium. Cheers to the champs. If you're going to be out at the box, make sure you reach for the ice-cold Bud Light when you head to the concession stand. It'll be a little matinee, a little sunny day on Friday, hopefully. Some really nice weather. Great time to grab a pop. Is there anything better than being at the ballpark on a sunny day with a cold beer and some peanuts? I mean, few sports viewing experiences are better than that. The smell of the grass, the sound of the glove, the pop of the mitt, the crack of the bat, or the ping of the bat in this case. And, of course, ice-cold Bud Light. Drink easy with the official beer of AFR and the official beer of the champs, Bud Light. All right, y'all, it is after further review. We are glad to have you aboard with us here. Got to knock out a quick break. When we come back, we're heading out to the Bay Area. Brian Peacock, Locked on 49ers, is going to be with us. I don't really want to talk to him about the Super Bowl. I do want to talk to him about Klint Kubiak and the role he played in that 49ers offense and what the Saints can expect. So we'll get that perspective when we come back. It's AFR.
AFR.
Okay, y'all, beautiful day today. Chilly, but gorgeous. Sunny, crystal clear, and beautiful. A great opportunity to just plant something. Go get in the garden. Go see our friends at Clegg's Nursery. Remember, they got inventory arriving darn near daily. So if you want roses, they got more than 80 different types of rose bushes that they've got there at Clegg's Nursery right now. If you want hanging ferns, they've got those as well, the hanging baskets. It's over at Clegg's Nursery. Get by any of the 4 locations. You know where they are. Sigourney Airline, LA16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. And let me remind you as well that spring is near, and if you deal with weeds in your lawn, spray before spring. Clegg's has the products for you. You need to spray now before spring has sprung, and Clegg's can help you. So get by any of the 4 locations of Clegg's Nursery. Buy local, shop local, Clegg's Nursery.
The importance of doing this fortified program and offering it to people down here is, number one, the only real chance you're going to get to do this is when you put on a new roof or build new. And through companies like HUDCO, who's kind of leading the way in this thing, it's going to offer the customers a huge advantage in the insurance market and the price of their insurance.
You know, we're not looking to make a fortune off fortifying. We're trying to give you a better product than our competitor at the moment. I'm trying to do something that he can. I'm trying to give you something better. So a lot of these insurance shops, you're getting a re-roof, you're only paying your deductible. Let's sit down and talk about the fortified and let's see what it does to your insurance premium. You're getting a steal.
Yeah.
You're getting a brand new roof and a fortified certificate for your deductible, essentially. I think we're rocking and rolling.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
I would say that I like to stress the process over results. It's important to me to stress accountability and to always make practice stressful for the players so that game day is easy. So those are 3 things I like to key on.
That's the voice of Klint Kubiak. That was when he was with the Minnesota Vikings as their offensive coordinator, and now, obviously, leaving San Francisco for New Orleans. Brian Peacock covers the 49ers for Locked On 49ers, and he's good enough to join us for a couple of minutes here. How are you, man?
I'm doing fantastic, yeah. Just trying to help my listeners on Locked On 49ers recover from a Super Bowl loss, and they keep losing coaches every offseason, too, so got to get them through that as well.
I wasn't even going to bring up the Super Bowl, honestly, but as a Saints fan, and remember when the Saints and the Niners won the old NFC West, I have no love lost for the Niners, so I was ecstatic, and I'm reveling in your misery. But that's all I really have right now. So, hey, let's talk a little bit about Klint Kubiak, if we could. What was when Shanahan brought Kubiak to San Francisco? What was the reaction to that hire?
To be honest with you, it's difficult because Kyle Shanahan is such a control freak, and you never know how much he's going to allow or let affect the other coaches in his room, affect what he's doing, how much he's imparting on the other coaches around him. But I do know there's, in Kyle Shanahan's the play caller, and it's his offense, and he's the offensive coordinator, and we're learning he's the quasi-defensive coordinator as well. So I don't know how much Steve Wilks was allowed to run actually his own defense, which I think is a big part of all of the Steve Wilks being fired. But when you talk about bringing in Klint Kubiak and then not really knowing how much Mike McDaniel all those years was doing behind the scenes, you realize how much collaborative effort there really is in game planning and what everybody's bringing and how they're trying to figure out how to beat the opposing defenses, and then Kyle Shanahan brings it all together. And I think one of the strengths Kyle Shanahan has is how he looks at his play calling and how he looks at plays. And when you bring something to him and he dissects the entire play and says, okay, this is good, but what about if the defense does this? And it's not going to work because of this. And you have to go back to the drawing board. You keep going. And I think there's a lot of sort of iron sharpening iron that goes on behind the scenes with Kyle Shanahan and his offensive assistants. And I think that's why his assistants have had such great opportunities and success around the league.
That's an interesting way to put it. So if Shanahan is such a control freak, then was there any material role that Klint Kubiak played that you could look at this season and say, okay, that was Kubiak's influence?
Not really. It's so difficult to be able to do that. You do know that when you are the run game coordinator, you're the passing game coordinator, or you're the quarterback's coach, Kyle Shanahan will listen to you, and he trusts his coaches. And I think it's a great sign if Kyle Shanahan chooses you as a coach, because I think he has a great eye for coaching talent. He's probably got a better eye for coaching talent than he does playing talent. And he's got a better eye for assistant coaches than he has quarterbacks in a lot of ways. And he's good at helping those guys develop under him. But in the end, it's all him, and he decides what goes and what doesn't, and what the 49ers are going to do. But, I mean, you know, just like Kyle did with his dad, Mike, and Klint with his dad, Gary, I mean, I don't know that you could find somebody who's never called plays in the NFL that you would have more hope could be a really good offensive coordinator than someone like Klint Kubiak.
Brian Peacock is our guest on Twitter at BD Peacock. You'll give him a follow, Locked on 49ers. So when you look at it's interesting because what the Saints are trying to do, obviously, is what Miami did or what Houston did. Like, you're looking at these guys from the Shanahan tree and saying, okay, how do I get one of those branches and just plant it here and make it work? So when you look at the guys I just mentioned, be it in Miami or at Houston or elsewhere, what evidence do you see of the Shanahan tree that makes sense in those places?
It's funny, too, because I think instantly, and even if you go back to LaFleur and McVay and, you know, everybody that worked together in Washington, and you look at what Kyle Shanahan's offense looks like in his personnel, and you look at McVay's offense and his personnel, and you look at Bobby Slowick and what happened in Houston there in year one, which was phenomenal, and then Mike McDaniel's just a complete mad scientist, and I love the way he just doesn't care what you think about what he's going to do or what he's going to say, and he does things his own way. If you're just watching these offenses, you know, there's motion and, you know, there's some staples and some things that you can see that correlate to each other. But I think they're all so different in their own right, which is, I think, really important, because you can just pull out Kyle Shanahan's playbook and just start just saying the words and calling the plays, and maybe it would be a pretty good offense. But I think it's how you attack defenses. It's how you utilize all the subtleties in the offense. There's a reason that you put a player in motion. You might only need a linebacker to move over one shuffle step, and it gives you the window you need. So it's the way you attack opposing defenses more so than exactly what the plays are themselves.
Is there a cumulative effect on the 49ers that eventually becomes material with the amount of assistants that they keep losing every year?
Yes, absolutely. And I think probably less on offense, although there's just been so many year after year. And I would, at this point, be shocked if Brian Gracie's not an offensive coordinator, play caller somewhere next year, if that's something he wants to do. If he kind of seems to be the next guy on the list, and they pluck one guy away every year from the offense. I think where it really showed up is the defensive side of the ball and the firing of Steve Wilks today. Because, and I mentioned earlier how Steve Wilks didn't really have an opportunity to run his own system there. And it's kind of become the Kyle Shanahan defense. And this started back in 2017 when Kyle Shanahan brought in Robert Saleh, and it was originally that cover three sort of Seattle Legion of Boom style defense. And they thought, well, that's a little too much of that. Let's sort of get in the lab. And D'Amico Ryans was the linebackers coach, and he was there for all of it. And they were all together in the lab figuring out the best way to stop offenses, and they came up with a really sound scheme together, but Steve Wilkes wasn't around for that. So I think losing DeMeco Ryans might have been the one where you really started to see, man, that one hurt a lot because he was so good, and he was in the lab through all of this. And offensively, he's always going to have guys that were in the lab with him, and he's the play caller, and he's the main designer of everything. But on defense, I think we finally did see it this year, and you hope you don't start to see it on offense. But, since Kyle's still the guy on offense, probably less likely we'll see it there.
I got a couple more for you. Brian Peacock is our guest, Locked On 49ers. Make sure you subscribe up. He's on Twitter at BDPeacock. Give him a follow. What should Saints fans watching this team next year with Klint Kubiak as the offensive coordinator, what will be a noticeable difference in the offense with Kubiak calling plays?
Well, they're going to run the ball. There's going to be an attention to detail with how they block things up. And one of the things I've loved about the 49ers offense over the course of even just the 6-7 years that Kyle Shanahan's been there is how things have changed. So if you're going to be a good coordinator in the NFL, you've got to move with the ebbs and flows of the NFL and learn how to face what the adjustments to the adjustments that teams make to try to stop you. And teams were selling out to try to stop the outside zone. So what have the 49ers done more recently? Well, they've kind of gotten away from the undersized, lighter offensive linemen and started putting bigger people inside and doing more, gap sort of runs and try to counter off of, teams trying to stop the outside zone. But everything's really detailed in the run game. You got to have a strong offensive line coach, and then it's the details in the passing game and finding those windows. And there's a lot said about quarterbacks in Kyle Shanahan's system being game managers, and maybe not the strongest arms, maybe not laser show throws down the field and to the sideline. The word that I've come up with to describe Kyle Shanahan's passing game is aggressively intermediate. It's not a check down offense. In fact, there's fewer check downs in the offense than a lot of teams. And he really wants to attack the middle of the field. So even though there's not a lot of deep throws built in, and they will call those, and we're seeing a lot more depending on who your quarterback is, like we saw in Houston, but you will be moving people around to try to find windows, and it's not a check down offense. And the yards per carry will show you that it's not a dink and dunk type of an offense. It's aggressively intermediate.
Should I make the assumption then that Alvin Kamara is probably the player singular that would stand to benefit the most?
I would say yes. Chris Olave doesn't seem like the type of receiver that would benefit the most from this type of scheme.
Why not?
But
why not?
Just because the deep passing game, and that's where he shines, doesn't seem like the thing that benefits the most from it. But if you start to have safeties creeping down into the box, that gives you some opportunities, and you can hit some big plays. And a lot of it kind of depends on your quarterback. And it'll be interesting to see what Klint Kubiak's spin on the offense is and how much it differs, because they've all been a little bit different. And it all depends on your personnel and your players. And if you don't have the Deebo Samuels, then maybe you need to lean into something different. So I'll be fascinated to see how that goes.
What about Derek? Last thing, thought on Derek Carr and how he would work with Kubiak?
Yeah, I mean, he's a good fit for it. I've probably been lower on Derek Carr, dating way back into his Raider days than most people.
Not lower than me, bro.
I think we've kind of seen what he is, and I wouldn't expect a ton more. But, any quarterback is going to play better in a well-coordinated offense that's balanced. And it's going to be a balanced offense. They're going to try to run the ball and put you in, shorter third down situations and try to scheme open some guys. You might see some tight ends and some running backs, leaked out and have some open throws, which is good. And then, dial up the occasional shot play.
Ryan Peacock, Locked On 49ers. Good stuff, man. Condolences on the Super Bowl, but not really, because I hate the 49ers.
Yeah, that's okay. We feel the same way about the Saints, except for I think the scoreboard looks better, so I'm sure you guys are more hurt by the 49ers games than we are by the Saints games. But
I would
that's
assume
okay.
so.
I appreciate you.
I would completely. I'm just thrilled that you hate the Saints. I don't know why you would. I don't think the Saints have ever beaten the Niners in a meaningful game.
Well, look, I'm old enough as well to remember the old NFC West days. I hate the Falcons more. How about that?
That's fair enough. We all hate the Falcons. At least we have that commonality. All right. My enemy's enemy is my friend sort of thing.
I think that's fair.
We'll go that way. All right, Brian. We appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Yep, anytime. Thanks.
All right, be well. Brian Peacock, Locked On 49ers. Good stuff there. We appreciate it. We're brought to you by Pure Restoration. Pure-restoration.com. Pure-restoration.com. Scone, what's the mold thing you talk about? Pure Restoration. If you have mold, odor, Pure Restoration can help. You want to sanitize a building, school building, church, office, Pure Restoration can help. It's a patented non-toxic dry fog. Patented non-toxic dry fog means nobody else can use it. It's theirs. It's their patented technology. So call Pure Restoration. It sounds expensive. No, it's not. It's less expensive than traditional remediation, and you're not even talking about pulling out carpet, cutting sheetrock. Now, if you need demo and build back, they can do that as well. But really, the objective is to be cheaper, to be more cost-effective, and to be more efficient. That's Pure Restoration. Pure-restoration.com. Pure-restoration.com. Did you hear where Brian Peacock said I would expect more out of Derek Carr because I kind of feel like he is what he is? I don't know how many times you have to hear people that aren't Saints fans say the same thing about Derek Carr to actually, those of you that are holding out hope that Derek Carr can be something he's not. This whole thing, Tiger can't change his stripes. It's what it is. He's what he is. Okay, let me knock out a break. Hump Day Show is brought to you by Pluckers. We'll go around the SEC. Taylor Calandro is going to join us from Disney on a different phone because his phone, he said, is in the bowels of the Tower of Terror. I cannot wait to get that story. And Shea, Dixon in 30 minutes. Stay here. It's AFR.
AFR.
Speaking of Pluckers, of course, our Hump Day shows brought to you by Pluckers, Nicholson and Bluebonnet. Dine in, carry out, or delivery with 28 flavors of award-winning jumbo chicken wings, ice, cold, draft beer, full-service bar. Sports on TV tonight and every Wednesday is trivia. 7:30 Bluebonnet, 8 o'clock Nicholson. 7:30 Bluebonnet, 8 o'clock Nicholson. 7:30 Bluebonnet, 8 o'clock Nicholson. You know where it is. 7:30 Bluebonnet, 8 o'clock Nicholson. Hey, remember, Friday, baseball at the box. 2 o'clock first pitch. You want to go have lunch at Pluckers? Meander over to the box for first pitch? Awesome. Maybe you're going to go to the box, then after the game, dinner at Pluckers just south of campus. I mean, if you're at the box and you're coming up and you make the right on to Nicholson from the box, make the right on the Nicholson. Pluckers right there. A few hundred yards on the left. You can't miss it. It's Pluckers. Award-winning jumbo chicken wings, ice-cold draft beer, full-service bar and sports on TV. It's Pluckers where, if you like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today. Or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, party plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com. Oh, by the way, we do shutters too.
There's never been a better time to catch a John Deere deal from the crew of Sunshine. Ask us about our low monthly payment options on our tractor packages and let the good times roll. With equipment strong enough to power one of the world's largest celebrations, we've got your needs covered too. Learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details. Offer ends April 30th, 2024.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Jay Johnson is meeting with reporters as we speak right now and did just make it official. Opening afternoon starter. Thatcher Hurd will get the ball for the Tigers. That's no great surprise at all. We've expected that. Great finish to last season after it took him a while to come along last season in his first year in Baton Rouge. So many different roles, weekend, midweek, reliever, closer. But Thatcher Hurd will get the ball opening day. We're assuming it'll be Hurd, Holman, jump. I mean, that's sort of been the assumption everybody's made all along. Cade Anderson likely to get the ball the first crack as a midweek starter. We'll see, and then roles will develop. They always do. And you got so many guys already there with, reliable young veterans and old veterans. I mean, Ackenhausen and then Griffin Herring, who was great last year, Gavin Guidry, who closed out the World Series for you, and then a lot of the new guys we're expecting, like Justin Lohr from Xavier. So there's just oodles of talent. I didn't even mention the guy that, is the lefty, the 6'4" lefty that throws 100, Cam Johnson. So it's going to be different this year. It's going to look different, but I'm so excited to see just the parade of elite arms for this LSU baseball team. Because, think about last year when you played Wake Forest, and it was just like every freaking one of those guys they brought out was just another power arm throwing 100. It was just nasty with an ERA sub-2. And you're like, where do all of them come from? LSU should be like that this year. I'm not trying to overhype it, but it's going to look different. Last year, we knew LSU was going to hit. And you had Skeens at the front, and they were going to figure it out behind him. And they did. This year, it feels like it's the reverse. You've got just a ton of arms, and you got some guys, and you're like, Tommy White's going to hit, and you got guys you hope are going to be able to, to produce offensively, but you're going to figure that out, and the pitching should keep you in it as you figure out your everyday lineup. So, a lot of reason to be excited, though, man. First pitch on Friday, 2 o'clock. For the Tigers. Early in the first month of the season, you get a lot of day games. Not great for your boy hosting an afternoon drive, talk show while LSU's playing day games, but we'll make it through. All right, we're brought to you by Michelli Weighing and Measurement. We're going to get to around the SEC here in just a quick second. Some other college football news. The College Football Board of Managers expected to vote on a new college football playoff format now that there's no Pac-12. And the SEC looks like they may be headed toward a 9-game schedule. So we'll get to that here in just a quick second. We're brought to you by Michelli, Michelli.com, Michelli.com. Tell you every day you weigh or measure something. Michelli sells, services, rents the products that you use to weigh and measure. If you need ISO 17025 accreditation, Michelli does it. Of course, we tell you all the time, Michelli, they're our president, CEO, Joel McMullen, his son, Sean McMullen, remember the 2013 LSU College World Series team. Great partner there. Manager at Michelli Weighing and Measurement. Tell you every day, check out our friends at Michelli. Do business with a handshake as they continue to grow over 76 years from sea to shining sea. It's Michelli Weighing and Measurement, Michelli.com. That's Michelli.com. Okay, we do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, bringing you the biggest news from the nation's best conference, the Georgia Bulldogs.
Scott Cochran no longer a member of the Georgia football program staff. His former Alabama strength and conditioning coordinator, LSU grad, was on Saban's staff here for the 2003 National Championship. He left Bama for Georgia in 2020. You might remember the story. He battled addiction, went to rehab in 2021, kind of was on again, off again with the staff, but now Scott Cochran, no longer a member of the Georgia staff.
The Auburn Tigers.
Hugh Freeze has added another off-field staffer. Kenyatta Watson is Auburn's Director of Recruiting, Research, and Strategy. Watson spent the last 2 years as Georgia Tech's Director of Scouting. Tons of experience in the Atlanta area. Everybody knows Grayson High School in Logan'sville, Georgia. He was the Director of Football Operations and Recruiting for that high school, where he sent more than 120 players into college football, and now he's on the Auburn staff.
The Kentucky Wildcats.
For the first time in 24 games this season, Kentucky had all of its scholarship players available for the win over Ole Miss, and that might not last any more than one game. Trey Mitchell injured his shoulder. He underwent x-rays after the game. Mitchell has started all 22 games in which he has appeared. Kentucky returns to action Saturday at number 13 Auburn.
The South Carolina Gamecocks.
And Carolina experiencing an incredible rise this year under Lamont Paris. But according to the Field of 68's Jeff Goodman, that may not last. With Chris Holtmann being fired at Ohio State, Lamont Paris is linked to that job opening, listed as a likely candidate. Paris spent 5 years as the head coach at Chattanooga. Before that, an assistant at Wisconsin for 7 seasons. He's a Findlay, Ohio native. On the hardwood last night, as we mentioned, Kentucky beats Ole Miss 75-63. Vanderbilt, with the buzzer beater, upsets Texas A&M at Memorial Gym 74-73. We know the LSU Tigers lost on the road at Florida. Tonight, South Carolina at Auburn. That's a top 15 matchup as the 11th-ranked Gamecocks are at the 13th-ranked Auburn Tigers. And number 8, Tennessee, is at Arkansas. There you have it. That is around the SEC. We are presented each and every day by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com. It is Valentine's Day, so gents, don't screw it up. If you forgot to get something for her, run to Lee Michaels. They're open there on Corporate Boulevard in Bocage, in the Mall of Louisiana. They're in New Orleans, Lafayette, Shreveport. So no matter where you're listening to us in the state of Louisiana, you got a Lee Michaels near you. 10 locations across 3 states. It's Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. There are so many ladies that are going to be ecstatic today when they open a gift in the red box from Lee Michaels. And guys, if you screwed it up, don't worry. You can go to Lee Michaels tomorrow and you can make it up to her. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com, lmfj.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. A couple of college football things I want to get to before we break and get to Taylor Calandro. There is a piece up at Inside Texas. I guess that's part of the, I'm trying to see what, this is part of the On3 network. One of the things that Chris Del Conte, the Texas AD, mentions in this piece at Inside Texas. First of all, he mentions that Texas is, quote, going home in coming to the SEC. But as Ross Dellinger noted in a tweet, one of the things Texas AD Chris Del Conte indicates is the SEC is targeting 2026 to begin a 9-game conference schedule. So remember, the 2024 schedule, this 8-game league schedule, this was a one-off. So remember, the SEC is scrapping divisions, as we all know. So there's no East and West this year. And you got an 8-game schedule. It has long been assumed that the league would go to 9 conference games. The problem is, if you go to 9 conference games, you are guaranteeing half of your league another loss, right? It's just math. If you add a conference game, you're guaranteeing half of your league another loss, which could affect bowl tie-ins, which could affect a lot of stuff, bowl eligibility and a lot of different stuff. Playoffs, how many teams get in, etc. So the SEC wants its TV partner, ESPN, to, in good faith, step up and compensate the league if they're going to add extra SEC inventory. To date, the ESPN has not been willing to do that. So unless and until that happens, I can't see the league going to 9 conference games. They're not just going to give their TV partner more conference inventory, taking 9 more losses for its teams without being compensated for it. So that's going to have to be part of this. But as Chris Del Conte is saying, they're targeting 2026, which means you may have another 8-game one-off schedule in 2025. Just something to file away and be mindful of. And the other story is The College Football Board of Managers is expected to vote this week on a 5-7 format for the college football playoffs. So just as a reminder, it was a 6-6, 6 auto bids and 6 at large. You had the Power 5 and then the 1 auto bid for the highest ranked group of 5. So that was 6. And then 6 at large bids. Well, the Pac-12, Pac-2, whatever you want to call it, no longer is going to have an auto bid. So it'll be reduced to 5. You'll have the Power 4 plus the G5 auto bid and then 7 at large spots. So that's what they're proposing. And in theory, that sounds great because you're adding another auto bid. But the thing that I hate about it is I just hate guaranteeing the G5 an automatic bid. If there's a G5 team that's worthy of being in, okay, vote them in. But I hate the fact that you're giving them an auto bid. Can you imagine like the year Western Michigan was the G5 in the New Year's Six? Do you really want to see Western Michigan in a college football playoff taking a bid from a worthy top 12, top 13 team in America? It's absurd. The notion of that is absurd. Anyway, but when you read a little deeper, there's one other thing. This vote, this 5-7 vote, it has to be unanimous. To change the format, it has to be unanimous, which means the Pac-12 has to agree to it. Well, the Pac-12 is essentially the Washington State University president who gets a full vote on behalf of 2 schools. And it can't change unless if that guy votes for it. You wonder why Greg Sankey and Tony Petitti have formed their alliance, the SEC and the Big Ten commissioners? Because progress in the college football playoff now, the SEC, the Big Ten, their billion-dollar TV contracts are beholden to the university president at Washington State voting for this so it could be unanimous. The SEC, Bama, Georgia, Texas, LSU, Oklahoma, Florida, Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State, all of these schools, USC, UCLA, they are all beholden to the Washington State University president to vote for this. Otherwise, it doesn't happen. You wonder why they're like, what are we doing? Bleep you. Why are you dictating our terms? That's why change is coming. All right, Taylor Calandro, Bourbon Dictionary next.
AFR.
Brought to you by Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. All right, y'all, we got baseball at the box this weekend. You're going to be out tailgating. Make sure you get on by Rouse's. Get all your tailgate trays, your ice-cold beer, adult beverages, or beverages for the kids. Get you some water. While you're at it, get you some Evermore water over at Rouse's. Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Hey, look, let me remind you, today's Ash Wednesday. I'm sure you remember that, but if you are a practicing Catholic, Ash Wednesday, you're abstaining from meat today, you need seafood options, they've got their grab-and-go boiled seafood kiosks over at Rouse's. So walk in, go to the left, you'll see the kiosk, the hot and boiled kiosk. You can grab and go. If it's shrimp or crawfish, if you want to go to the seafood market, get a piece of fish. They've got fried catfish dinners you can always snag with your sides. They got great options for you all throughout Lent. If you need those seafood options today on Ash Wednesday or Fridays during Lent, remember Rouse's has got you covered. Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouse's, this feels like home.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
It was a humid day. Barefoot children play. Looking for that summer shade. Time to slip away. Oh, Louisiana, some kind of hold on me. Like cypress stumps, your roots are planted deep inside of me.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
They're the gang with the slang. This is Bourbon Dictionary with Matt Moscona and Taylor Calandro.
All right, wrapping up hour number 1. Let's go to the House of the Mouse. That's where we find Taylor Calandro. How are you, dude?
Hey, man. I just met Chewbacca.
That's awesome. T-Bob would be way more excited than I am to hear that news. I would like to hear, however, how your phone ended up as you texted me in the bowels of the Tower of Terror.
It's pretty self-explanatory here, Matt.
I don't think it is.
Phone was in the pocket. Phone went out the pocket, straight to the bowels of the Tower of Terror.
You know, I don't think that's the first time that's ever happened. However, it's been a long time since I've been in the Tower of Terror. As I recall, though, you're sitting on a bench, correct, with something over your lap, and it just drops you straight down. It's not like you're a whoop-diddy-doopy up and down.
So here's the problem, Matthew. When you sit on the end and the wall's next to you and there's a crack in the wall and your phone falls out your pocket when you're doing the up and down and it goes, it's in the elevator shaft somewhere.
So I'm still going to say that this is your fault because, man, the lack of awareness to leave your phone exposed in the pocket nearest the wall instead of moving it to the right side or putting it in your back pocket.
God.
This is listen, I would literally rather someone steal my money clip than my phone. I'd rather you punch me in the stomach and steal my money clip than my phone. My phone is my life, especially because professionally.
My phone is my life, too.
Clearly not.
And it's been incredible the last 4 hours of my life.
Not having it?
Oh, absolutely.
See, I couldn't disagree with you more.
I have no clue what's going on.
I couldn't disagree with you more. So clearly your phone is not your life. Because if your phone was your life, you would not be reacting this way. If it were me.
Well, you weren't with me 3.5 hours ago.
If it were me, I would suspend my trip to Disney.
You can't do anything. I mean,
I would be at the nearest store, getting my new phone, getting this rectified, getting all of my apps onboarded from the cloud again, getting back plugged in. My trip to Disney would be over. You're meeting Chewbacca. That's the difference between you and me. That's the difference when your phone is your life. Your phone clearly is not your life, friend.
Well, clearly not. Not today, at least. Thank God.
All right. Well, we've eaten up almost all of our time. We have 2 minutes. Let me ask what's new, aside from the fact that you lost your phone.
Nothing. I have no clue what's new because I've been in Disney World and I don't have a phone.
Awesome.
But I did drink a Sierra Nevada Pale Ale in Hollywood Studios a little while ago. It was fantastic.
Okay, like to hear that.
Sierra Nevada Pale Ale, it's old, trusty, really, really good. Hey, and fun fact, Sierra Nevada is still family-owned and operated. I bet you a lot of people don't know that.
I feel like I knew that because I listened to the How I Built This podcast about that brand, and it was an interesting listen about how they came about.
Yeah.
But they merged with Boston Beer Company.
Oh, did they? I didn't
No,
realize
maybe
they merged.
no. You know who I'm thinking of? I'm thinking of Dogfish Head. That's what I'm thinking of.
Yes, they did.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, because I still thought Sierra was family-owned and operated, and Disney in general is a barren wasteland for alcohol in general. So, I mean,
Really?
I mean, there's alcohol, but man, there's no time to drink here. Like you're just doing kid stuff all the time. I mean, that's what I came here for. But
Sounds
I don't
terrible.
know.
Sounds terrible.
Weird.
All right, let's get a few. We got 60 seconds. Scott, scored my first bottle of Elmer T. Lee. How good is it?
Oh, fantastic. I mean, it was hard enough for you to get it, I'm sure. So, I love Elmer T. Lee, and I think you do too, Matt. Huh?
It's my favorite of the mash bill twos. A lot of people push back, but it's my favorite of the mash bill twos. Jay Butcher scored a CYPB yesterday. Never had it. How do you rank it versus the Wellers?
Oh, CYPB's up there. I would say CYPB's right underneath William LaRue for me. I love CYPB.
Dustin said, just got a bottle of E.H. Taylor Bottle and Bond. Is it any good?
E.H. Taylor, yes, it's fantastic. Anything E.H. Taylor is exceptional. It's one of my favorite lines of whiskey. I know it's hard to get, but as far as just the whole line, it's one of my favorites.
That's Taylor Calandro. We got to go. Thanks. See ya.
See ya.
AFR. Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Breaking news, Kansas City police say one person has died, 10 to 15 others have been injured after a shooting near the Chiefs' Super Bowl championship parade today. 2 people have been taken into custody. LeBron James and Steph Curry as teammates. Warriors tried to make that happen before last week's NBA trade deadline. Made a bid for James, reports ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski and Ramona Shelburne. Golden State eager to present a deal package to the Lakers, but neither LA nor James ultimately willing to explore that. LeBron's got a sizable player option for next season. Might take a while to make his decision on that this summer, explains ESPN's Brian Windhorst.
I do think that he could really stretch that decision out, not just for the draft, to see what happens with Bronny, but also just to see what happens in the league. I think he wants the Lakers, when they have better opportunities, to be more aggressive. But I think he wants to be a Laker, as you said, Stephen A., and I really think he wants to play for $51 million, which is what he's contracted for next
49ers
year.
fired defensive coordinator Steve Wilks. Coach Kyle Shanahan told reporters it just ended up not being the right fit.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Canty. Coming up Thursday, I'll tell you which NFL teams are poised to take a huge step back next season. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
Let's ride!
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
You sue. And Mr. Toby Tom Blake. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Cody Worsham from LSU here in 1 hour. Talking about the Tigers getting $1 million from Netflix for that documentary. We'll get to that here in just a bit. The dust is settled on the February signing period. LSU finishes with the number 4 class in the country, according to On3. Our buddy from On3, the Bengal Tiger, Shea Dixon, good enough to join us here for a couple of minutes. How are you, Shea?
Hey, I'm doing well. How are you, Matt?
I'm doing awesome. Okay, so the number 4 class, let's put a bow on this 2024 signing class for LSU. What are the standouts? How are you grading how Brian Kelly and his staff did pulling it together?
I mean, a top 5 finish up there with Georgia, Ohio State, Bama. I mean, that's the company you want to keep. So in that regard, it was excellent. And I think, and this is something Brian Kelly talked about last week, but geographically, it's something we talked about a lot on your show throughout the year, even when they were ranked in the teens. And people said, can this even be a top 10 class? And at the time, it was June, July. And I said, yes, look, wait it out.
things happen, but they'll keep pushing kids to the end. And when you're recruiting Louisiana, East Texas, that puts you, South Mississippi in the mix with all these guys, not just in the summer, but all the way through signing day. So to come away with the number 4 class when I think, gosh, Matt, 29 signees, 26 of them were from 25 of the 29 were from Louisiana or Texas. More than 20 were Louisiana natives. And then toss in the South Mississippi signee, 26 of the 29 are from Louisiana or a border state. And that's kind of what Brian Kelly said he wanted the recipe to be. They said from the start, we want to sign 25 to 30 guys. They got 29. So when you look at number 4 class, you look at 3 5-stars, which is up there with as many as anybody in the country. It's more than impressive.
Number 4 from On 3, number 7 in the composite. Heck of a job by this staff pulling it together there. And, of course, everyone's excited looking ahead to 2025. But, Shea, are they done for 24 whenever you look at a blended ranking with high school and portal? Or should we expect more portal additions in the next portal cycle?
I would definitely expect more portal additions. And look, I don't know. I can't sit here and promise that the spring window, which is only a 15-day window right when spring football ends for everybody, is going to be the most active, spring of all time. Now, it may be considered how much shakeup there was at different schools with head coaching changes and all that, but it's not going to have the same flair or numbers that the first portal, kind of stretch does. The 30-day window is in the middle of all the bowl prep and everything else. So 1 or 2 guys, I think, could probably pop up that they would then jump on, maybe 3. But in terms of the 2024 class, which is everybody who just signed, you would only count high school and JUCO. And they are still after 1 JUCO D lineman out in Kansas. So we'll monitor that one. That will come down to, if he gets all his grades in order, he can get out of JUCO for the spring. And then after May, he could sign with or transfer to a 4-year school. So JUCO high school wise, if they have another addition, it would be from the JUCO ranks.
Is it safe to say, though, of course for the signing class, but is it safe to say, though, that be it the JUCO ranks at defensive tackle or in the portal, be it from another Power 5, depending on how it goes, that defensive tackle would be the biggest need? I think Brian Kelly alluded to that as well.
Yeah, Group of 5, Power 5. I mean, if there's a guy out there who's legit that fits the bill of kind of what they're looking for, then absolutely. I mean, you're thinking about a position, and look, some other guys can play D tackle, but nose tackle, and then your bigger DT-wise, you have Guillory and Jalen Lee. Those are the only players left on rosters. So signing McKinley, a 5-star DT, was massive. Bringing in 3 total, I think, defensive, 3 or 4 total true defensive linemen in this class, hand in the dirt, was good to get that going. And you've got a JUCO guy in Sean Washington who comes in with experience. I mean, he won a national championship at Georgia. He played for a JUCO national championship, and now he's coming back home after prepping at Warren Easton. So he gives you some experience beyond a high school guy. And but is that enough? I think that's why the spring portal window, Matt, is probably, whether it is JUCO or whether it's transfers from Power 5, Group of 5, that they want to come away with at least 1 more defensive tackle.
Shea Dixon, On 3, the Bengal Tiger. I noticed you do have up over at On 3 right now your big board or your mock for 2025, I guess is how we'd put it. They're already off to an amazing start for 2025, Shea, with the number 1 class. What are going to be some of the biggest prospects that we're going to keep an eye on here throughout the spring as spring recruiting periods heat up?
Yeah, I put up today my mock 1.0. People enjoy me doing my class predictions. Granted, we're a year out from when they're signing, 10, 11, 12 months. But, hey, look, 29 total predictions I had to make. I know I've got 9 of them right so far because those guys are very publicly committed. But
right.
Beyond that, I think, look, you have to start in Louisiana, right? And if you go and look right now at the rankings, the top 8 players in Louisiana, 7 are committed to LSU right now, publicly committed. The one guy who's not is James Simon up at Calvary Baptist, who running back had a fabulous junior year. They went to the Dome. He's being recruited by everyone. He's a top 10 running back nationally. And from the start, Frank Wilson had eyed Harlem Berry, the 5-star out of New Orleans, who's New Orleans area, who's a number 1 running back in the country, consensus. And then James Simon is that 1-2 punch you wanted. And look, when it comes to recruiting Louisiana and running backs, I'm not going to bet against Frank Wilson. So I think that's the biggest fish we're kind of looking for right now. And then it gets, in my opinion, fun to watch because they haven't been in a position like this, Matt, where yes, they've had 10 commitments by February before, but they weren't 10 guys who were all ranked as top 250 prospects. They weren't 3 of them 5 stars, number one at their position, and 4 of them top 20 overall players nationally. So I think they can be a bit picky, and that's a good thing. And look, you're going to always eval Louisiana. You're going to be heavy on the border state guys, but with these new hires on defense, coupled with them coming off a number one offense finish, the Heisman, all of that, we're seeing it pay dividends, obviously, with a Bryce Underwood at quarterback and DeCorian Moore at receiver, and an early commitment from Teron Francis at receiver, who's Louisiana's number one wideout, Harlan Berry, a 5-star. Like, they've got the guys rolling on offense, but how much further do they take it there? And then what do these new defensive hires do? Because between Corey Raymond, Bo Davis, Blake Baker, you're tossing around some big names.
Would have been the early returns from those guys out on the trail? The staff.
I've got to say it's positive, because before we hit this dead period, between all of those guys I just mentioned, they had a number of kids come in and visit that weren't previously scheduled to come. And I know DJ Pickett made headlines. We had talked about him, a 5-star defensive back out of Florida who Corey had recruited there. Bo Davis has had a couple D linemen that he was recruiting at Texas, from the Lone Star State, come in from before the dead period, who are juniors, and all these guys now are starting to schedule visits for March and April. So I think that we'll see in the coming weeks and months, maybe not weeks, we're in the dead period, but starting in March when it opens back up and into April and May, just how big those hires were, because that's when recruits are usually popping, in the spring, in the summer, before senior seasons. Right now we're seeing these guys kind of lay the groundwork for what's to come.
Shea, let me ask you about the off-field guys as well. Adding Austin Thomas, of course, Will Redmond leaving for Auburn, some of the other turnover in the personnel there. How significant is that, or what is significant therein?
I think what's significant is you go from one group of people, or a number of people that worked in the personnel department, heading things up, to now a new wave of people. But they're going to have a lot of people look beyond the names that we've mentioned in the past few weeks that got new jobs. They'll have people within that program that have been there since they were student workers and worked their way into full-time jobs. Now we'll get bigger jobs. So you'll have some semblance of normalcy in terms of, hey, look, this is kind of how we've done things, what the group will be like now. Austin Thomas, having been here before multiple times, he knows the lay of the land. So as much as things could change, I think what you're going to see is just more of the organization put on it, probably staffed a little bit more, and really kind of you're moving into this era, obviously, where everybody, there was word kind of broke today that someone from Ole Miss, Austin, I forgot his name, it's not right in front of me, but Austin had pegged and hired, or is set to be hired as the new personnel director, or one of the new personnel directors, and younger guy out of Ole Miss, who immediately I texted around and people said, yep, one of the bright young minds, and he gets all facets of it. And it used to just be recruiting, and then it turned into recruiting and managing the team. Then you had to know about NIL and the portal, and I think a lot of these guys, coaches who are coming up, when you've got that on your resume of, hey, I've got a background in a little bit of it all, or an understanding of it all, then that's going to kind of carry you even more.
Is it Preston Tiffany? Is that who you were talking about?
Yes, there you go.
He was the guy who was at Ole Miss, and it was just I didn't know the name either. I just saw it tweeted earlier today. I think maybe I think Football Scoop might have had it first earlier today. So it's just another one of those off-field recruiting personnel, staff personnel that LSU added today. Shea, last thing for you. Shea Dixon on 3, the Bengal Tiger. We always talk about the calendar. So for those who don't follow this thing religiously every day, what is the recruiting calendar like right now with signing day having passed a week ago?
There's people who don't follow this religiously every day. Oh, my goodness.
Hard to believe when you are very much in the deep end of this every single day.
I need to get out of the house more. Look, we're in the middle of a month-long dead period, and that means no coaches can go on the road to see kids. No kids can pop up on visits and do the photo shoots and all that kind of stuff. And that will end in March. And from there, it's back to kids can come to campus. And by April, coaches are back on the road doing evals when high school football teams have spring practice, obviously. And then we're into the summer. We're in June. They have their annual fall camps and kind of get a good feel for everybody who gets offered and all that good stuff. So right now, February, I think the coaches are enjoying some much-deserved time off after what Brian Kelly and pretty much every coach out there has said is an unmanageable stretch from the end of November to, just recently.
He is Shea Dixon. You do a great job managing it for On 3, the Bengal Tiger. Make sure you follow him on Twitter at Shea Dixon. Appreciate you, Shea. Thanks, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, Matt.
Always our pleasure, the one and only Shea Dixon. It's after further review. Hey, I want to remind you about HUDCO, HUDCOroofing.com. Do business with someone you know. I'm going to give you the phone number to call our staff, but there is one thing that is so abundantly clear, and I tell you about it all the time. The door knockers, man. So we had this awful hailstorm on Sunday night into Monday morning, and like roaches, man, they pop up. The door knockers pop up, and I've heard from so many of our crews and our staff that are out on the streets, meeting with homeowners, assessing damage. They're getting 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 people knocking on their doors, and it's a nuisance. And so often it's people who are from out of town who, it's like cockroaches, man. The hail strikes and boom, they're into that market. The thing I'll tell you is, even if you don't call us, even if you don't call HUDCO, the biggest piece of advice I can give you is ignore the door knockers and hire a reputable company. A reputable company that was here before the storm, that if you have an issue in 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years, you're going to be able to call because they're still going to be here. We love it if you call us. I'll give you the phone number for HUDCO, 364-1007. That's in the 225, obviously, because this is the area that was primarily impacted over the weekend. 225-364-1007, 364-1007, 364-1007. That rings our office. It forwards to several of our staff members' cell phones. So you're almost always going to get a living, breathing human right here in Baton Rouge. Our office right there on Perkins Road. It's HUDCO Roofing. If you were affected by the hail, the high wind, the heavy rain, think you might have been, give us a shout. We'd love to come give you a free, no-obligation roofing inspection. If you have damage, we'll help you file the claim. We'll work with your insurance adjuster and your company to get the claim approved and get you the roof repair or replacement that you need. It's HUDCO Roofing. 364-1007, 225-364-1007. Give us a shout right now, 364-1007 for HUDCO Roofing and HUDCOroofing.com. All right, y'all. It's after further review. Cody Worsham in 45 minutes. Pretty cool. We're learning more about that Netflix documentary, including $1 million payday for LSU to agree to it, on top, in addition to the NIL talent fees that the student athletes participating will get, which is really cool. So Cody will be with us. Tell us more about that coming up in about 45 minutes. When we come back, there's another mock draft out today. Field Yates over at ESPN put out a mock draft, and there's two things that really stood out to me as it pertains to the LSU guys, and I'm very excited about who they have the Saints taking at 14. So we'll get to that when we come back. Glad you're here. It's a Hump Day edition of AFR presented by Pluckers. Don't you move.
AFR.
Hey, as the weather gets colder again and you're firing up that heater, if you have an issue, call our friends at River City's 1 Hour Air. I'll give you the phone number, 752-0001, 752-0001, or 1hourbr.com. I always love reading these great 5-star Google reviews, like this one from Brittany Averett, who said, I am always very pleased with this company and their servicemen. John helped us today. He was very kind and professional. I will continue to use this company. They educate on the issues I do not understand, and I feel their suggestions are legitimate and honest. How often have you felt that way about a contractor coming to your house? If it's River City's 1 Hour Air, you're going to feel that way every time. And the reason is because River City's 1 Hour Air invests in their technicians. Ongoing education. So they have the latest technology, the most up-to-date services and practices, and they're always going to do right by you at a fair price. It's River City's 1 Hour Air. 752-0001.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $20,000 off new 23 Ram 1500 Black Widow trucks, $20,000 off new Ram 1500 trucks, and all new Bayou Automotive vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
The best kept.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all you can eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Another mock draft is out. This time it's Field Yates over at ESPN. And there's a few things in here that I found particularly interesting. And listen, I feel like I have to clarify this every time we talk about a mock draft. I don't necessarily care greatly about who someone may mock, particularly for a team. But I do care more positionally about what's being projected to take in a certain draft or in a certain place. So, for example, when we talk about the New Orleans Saints, I think it's so interesting who some of these analysts have the Saints taking and necessarily what position. We've seen a lot of analysts mock Brock Bowers, the tight end, the Saints at 15 overall. We've seen receivers, some defensive ends. Field Yates has the Saints taken Tyler Guyton, the offensive tackle out of Oklahoma. And I would be so excited to see the Saints go offensive line. And I know there's a lot of people that are going to push back on this because they took Trevor Penning 2 years ago in round 1, and that seems to have gone bust. Now, here's my reason. I'll give you. Here you go. For everyone who says I'm a hater, here's your reason for optimism. And this is my hope. My hope for the Saints in Trevor Penning is we were excited about him year 1. He was injured basically his entire rookie season. Then he spent his entire offseason going into year 2 trying to become your left tackle. And that didn't work. And some guys just aren't good enough to play on the outside in the NFL. Fine. Give Trevor Penning an entire offseason trying to be your left guard. Can he be an interior mauler when you put him in a phone booth? You put Eric McCoy on one side and whoever is going to be your left tackle on the other side. Can he be a productive left guard in the NFL? Maybe so. And that's my hope, to where you can get some level of production as a starter out of Trevor Penning. Maybe he's not an all-pro, and maybe he's not your left tackle, but can he be a starting caliber offensive lineman? Maybe. And if you do that and you draft someone like Tyler Guyton out of Oklahoma, or even if it's not Tyler Guyton out of Oklahoma, which maybe he could be. And there's some people, by the way, who feel like Guyton might be a right tackle. I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to consider to make that projection. I mean, we sat here for 2 years and tried to talk about Trevor Penning. But maybe you draft your franchise left tackle at 14, which is doable. And especially in this draft, where you could have as many as 5 quarterbacks go before the Saints pick. And if you have 5 quarterbacks taken before the New Orleans Saints pick, then good players are going to drop. That's why you're seeing Brock Bowers mocked in the teens. Because if 5 quarterbacks go ahead of him, then good players are going to drop. And you have Joe Walt, you have Fashanu, the offensive tackle from Penn State. You have Guyton. You've got a bevy of offensive tackles in this draft that may fall. Like, good players are going to fall as a result of the need for quarterbacks in a deep quarterback class. So, while I would love to see the Saints in the market for a quarterback, that's not likely. So, as a result, though, you're going to benefit because someone that's very high on your board is going to be sitting there at 14 and it might just be an offensive tackle. And I'd be for that if that's what happened for the New Orleans Saints in this draft. So that was interesting to me. I want to get into what was the other thing that was interesting here in just a quick second. I do want to remind you about the Williamson Eye Center. 924-2020. Call Dr. Blake Williamson. Set up that free consultation. Of course, I had LASIK. Hester had PRK. Jimmy Ott had the lens replacement. I mean, so many great athletes. And we've talked about over the years. From Devin White, who's told us the story. He couldn't see the sideline when they were signaling calls. He went to the Williamson Eye Center, had LASIK. Done deal. Caleb Von Chasson, same thing. So many great athletes who trust their vision. Baseball players, pitchers, have trusted Dr. Blake Williamson. I did. You can as well. If you want to see 2020, call 924-2020. 924-2020 for the Williamson Eye Center. That's WilliamsonEye.com. WilliamsonEye.com for the Williamson Eye Center. The other thing in Field Yates' mock draft that I found interesting was where he had Jaden Daniels. And he's got him going number 2 overall to Washington. And the consensus number 1 pick for everybody is Caleb Williams to the Bears. I think it remains to be seen what the Bears are going to do with Justin Fields. Because if they want to commit to Justin Fields, maybe they get a king's ransom for that number 1 overall pick. Somebody goes up and takes Caleb Williams. I think that's plausible. I also think it's plausible that the Bears trade Justin Fields and draft Caleb Williams. We'll see. Don't know. But however it shakes, what seems likely is that whatever team is at 1 is going to take Caleb Williams. So the question is, what do the Commanders do at 2? Are they sold on Drake May, or is it Jaden Daniels? And Field Yates has Jaden Daniels going number 2 overall. I also found this interesting because Louis Riddick was on Get Up today, and he said the same thing about Daniels being number 2.
I never had any question from the get-go when I started watching these quarterbacks as to who number 2 was. Jaden Daniels, for me, is clearly number 2. And I think as we move through this process, I know there are going to be people who say, well, Drake May, once he gets into the interviews and all, people are going to become wild with him. I think people are going to be very impressed with Jaden Daniels as well as we move through the draft process. Because remember, this is the time of year where things can get a little sideways because there's no football being played now. And you can wind up tricking yourself into thinking things that you shouldn't be thinking about. As long as Jaden Daniels doesn't do anything to hurt himself, I think, in this pre-draft process, and as long as people are comfortable with ultimately what his verifieds are as far as his height and his weight and his hand size, for me, Drake May, I was sitting there a lot of times looking at the tape going, show me something. Show me something that puts you in the category with these two, and I didn't see it.
Drake May's 6'4", 230. He could throw the ball over the mountain and all that stuff. And maybe maybe Drake May is unfairly being penalized because of Mitchell Trubisky, but they feel like one and the same. 2 guys that went to North Carolina, big, impressive physical specimens that could throw the ball a mile, but you look at what they did in college and you go, what does the tape show? With Jaden Daniels, it's very clear. And my opinion is, especially in 2024 with the evolution of NFL offenses, where quarterbacks run the football now. Lamar Jackson just won an MVP. Jalen Hurts, had he not got hurt a year ago, would have won the MVP a year ago. The Super Bowl changed because of Patrick Mahomes running the football. I'm not saying you need to have Lamar Jackson who can run for 1,000 yards, but you got to have a quarterback that can hurt a defense with their feet. That's Jane. Who is better than Jane Daniels? So sometimes the tape, like, you can't ignore the tape. So Field Yates is saying it. Louis Riddick is saying it. I think more and more you're going to see that trending in this draft process because Jane Daniels is going to go to the combine. If he runs the 40, he's going to run a blazing time. His medical, of course, is going to check out. And when he sits down with these teams, they are going to be massively impressed with how mature he is. A cool kid who is not going to be influenced by money or fame or whatever comes along with it because he's always been even keeled. That's always been the narrative on Jaden Daniels. He's just a cool, collected kid. And it showed. He's never too high, never too low. And I don't know why that would change in the NFL. One more from Louis Riddick on what he likes so much about Jaden Daniels.
The way this young man operates in the pocket, the way in which he can get that ball out and speed up his release and the way he sees the field, some of the touch throws he makes are sick. They remind me of the way CJ threw the football at Ohio State. But outside the pocket, you see these highlights. This kid can go now. When they call design quarterback draw, I mean, he is out the gate, dude. The thing about it, though, is you want to turn on the Ole Miss game. He takes a shot in that game where it looks like somebody catapulted him backwards, like somebody put a bungee cord on him and yanked him backwards. And I'm going, you can't be absorbing too many of those. So I'll tell you this, though. Caleb Williams, bigger body, made people look silly in the open field. Jaden Daniels, he can throw that thing.
According to Phil Yates, Jaden Daniels, number 2 to Washington. Malik Neighbors, number 6 to the Giants. Brian Thomas Jr., number 28 to the Bills. Keep telling y'all. Guy with the most to lose at the combine is Brian Thomas. If he goes and doesn't have a great day, he could drop out of round 1 because you see a pretty wide range on Brian Thomas. He's got to go make some team a believer. I think he will. I think Brian Thomas is going to help himself because when they see how big and strong and physical he is and he runs the time he's going to run, I think Brian Thomas locks himself as a first-rounder at the combine. But he's got to go have a day. Okay, it's After Further Review. Hump Day Show is brought to you by Pluckers. Quick break. We'll come back. Last week, we told you about the SP Plus rankings about the returning production. Well, the rankings are out now. We'll tell you what the computers think about LSU next.
AFR.
Hey, Muse.
Yeah.
Who do you think is going to be the first guy out of the bullpen for LSU on Friday?
Let's go with Nate Ackenhausen.
Nate Ackenhausen. Okay, so when Jay takes that trot out to the mound to lift Thatcher Hurd after he goes 8 1/3 of shutout baseball, and Jay makes that trot out to the mound to bring in old Ack, that mound visit's going to be brought to you by Action Industries. Since 1982, Action Industries, an official partner of LSU Athletics, and now sponsoring the mound visits for both teams all season long. That's Action Industries. Action Industries is hiring, and they're hiring for all staff. You can apply at their Geismar office. You can call or you can swing by on Highway 30 in Geismar. It's Action Industries, servicing the chemical, the petrochemical, and refinery markets since 1982. It's Action Industries.
Join MMR and ignite your career today. MMR is the largest electrical and instrumentation contractor in the nation, and they're seeking talented individuals to join their team. For over 3 decades, they've been headquartered right here in Baton Rouge, and they have offices all around the globe.
And MMR offers a tailored path for both professional and personal development, outstanding benefits, and a dynamic culture. So whether you're an intern, a seasoned pro, or you're just starting out, see what MMR can offer you. Apply at mmrgrp.com.
The importance of doing this Fortified program and offering it to people down here is, number one, the only real chance you're going to get to do this is when you put on a new roof or build new. And through companies like HUDCO, who's kind of leading the way in this thing, it's going to offer the customers a huge advantage in the insurance market and the price of their insurance.
we're not looking to make a fortune off fortifying. We're trying to give you a better product than our competitor at the moment. I'm trying to do something that he can. I'm trying to give you something better. So a lot of these insurance jobs, you're getting a re-roof, you're only paying your deductible. Let's sit down and talk about the fortified and let's see what it does to your insurance premium. You're getting a steal. Yeah. You're getting a brand new roof and a fortified certificate for your deductible, essentially. I think we're rocking and rolling.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs, even in the case of an after-hours emergency. The light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
I guess this is going to have to be a thing. Another former LSU coach check-in? Hit it, Muse.
Tell me where in the world is former LSU football assistants.
Steal their soul in South Korea.
Oh, my God. Muse has no idea what Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego is. Had to explain that earlier.
Former LSU football assistants.
Dude, I like the song there. It's really good.
Molly, do you remember this?
I do. So good.
Did you ever play the video game?
I don't really remember the video game, but I do remember the song.
I mean, in elementary school, Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego? It was all the rage.
Former LSU football assistants.
We told you last week that Durante Jones was interviewing for the New York Giants DC job. And then the next day, Thomas McGahee, we learned, was headed to be the special teams coordinator at Tampa. Give me a little more of that, Muse. Don't let it go too low. Then we learned that Adam Henry everybody from the age of 35 to 45 right now is going, oh, yeah!
Former LSU football assistants.
Adam Henry going to Buffalo as the receiver coach.
LSU football assistants.
Hey, we learned today that James Craig.
Yeah.
He's on the move.
He is.
James Craig been hired by the Raiders as the new offensive line coach. Craig, get on that, Muse!
Former LSU football assistants.
Oh, my God. That's so bad and so good at the same time.
Been humming this damn song since about 12:30 when you told me to do this.
This has to be 30 years old.
Former LSU football assistants.
This has to be 30 years old. At least. Maybe older than that.
That makes
Google
sense.
Google it, please. I want to know how old this is. Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? And it's why it's still when I was thinking about it, this is the first thing that popped into my head. What are we going to do for where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? Where in the world is former LSU assistant with an assist from Scotty Mack? Do you have it?
I'm working on it.
Okay.
Hold on.
For those that don't know, the unindoctrinated, the too old or too young, not that it's a bad thing. There was a show called Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego is.
Former LSU football
And so I had Muse drop the Carmen Sandiego part, have Scotty Mack record
former LSU football assistant
that, and then put it in, dub it in. So how much fun did you have doing that?
A lot. I was laughing. I was audibly laughing at my desk doing this. It was just really
Look
good.
at Paulie, he loves it too. All right, how old?
Let's see. So it looks like the first thing I can find is the TV series in 1991. And I guess they made it into the game after that?
No, the game has to have been older. Has to have been older. 91 for the TV series, huh?
Yes, I mean, that's 32 years right there.
That's 30 years. That's 33 years.
33 years.
Do you remember? Text me or tweet Muse Twitter poll.
All right.
Do you remember where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? Text me, tweet me, go to the Twitter poll. Text me 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. I had intended to spend this segment talking about the SP Plus rankings. Thank you. That's plenty good enough. We'll come back to it, though, because I assure you that a former LSU assistant will be on the move, and we'll be able to tell you where in the world they are with a hat tip to the former Carmen Sandiego theme. Let's see, has anybody replied? Dude, Roderick Claiborne, bruh, I haven't heard this since the 3rd grade.
You're welcome, Roger.
Roderick,
you're welcome.
Roderick's 35 years old. So anyway, there you have it. At least one person out there gets it. Hang on, wait. Brady Moran said he played the game on PC in the late 90s. I wonder if I have it backwards. If maybe the show was before the game. I wanted to say that the game was before the show, but anyway, it was a game on PC for sure. I remember in computer class we would play Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego. Bro, my buddy Cord Cole over at Mockler, my first cartoon crush. She was fire.
Oh, okay.
Wait, let me look up Carmen Sandiego.
I was about to say that's a you thing there.
Yep, Paulie. Let's see if we can find a picture of Carmen Sandiego. Oh, here you go. Muse. You're gonna like her with the flowing hair, very sultry and sort of mysterious. Carmen Sandiego. You see her there? Hang on. I'm trying to. Come on. I hate this. I hate computers sometimes. There we go. That's as good as I'm going to be able to do right there. There you go.
Here we go. We have a comment on the Twitter poll that says the first video game was 1985.
Okay, thank you. I knew it. I knew we played that.
At @CWilliams_32 comes through.
Shout out, dude. So shout out, because when I was at Most Blessed Sacrament, shout out Pelicans, in Miss Gora's computer class back in the day, we played Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego, and I would bet dollars to donuts we played the video game on PC before the TV show came out. The TV show was born out of the success of the game. We did Oregon Trail as well.
Oh, yeah. I think everybody. I even remember playing Oregon Trail. So
you remember Oregon Trail. Not on PC. No way.
Probably. I mean,
no way. That was like old PC graphics. Did you pull this up, Paulie? Wait, pull this up. Show this real quick. I don't know. Did you see this, Muse?
Yeah, she's cute.
There's
that.
Carmen Sandiego. Yeah.
Good hair.
Good job, Cord Cole. Good pull there. I mean, that's a fire cartoon. Maybe one day we can get into like the hottest cartoon chicks.
Okay, yeah, I'm down for that.
Princess Jasmine.
Yeah.
Ariel, although she had a tail, but then she did have. Yeah, but then she is a human Ariel or mermaid Ariel.
Jessica Rabbit.
Jessica Rabbit's certainly going to be in there, and that's.
Yeah, I mean, come on. That's I mean,
she's sultry.
Yes. Very, very seductive. This is killing me. Also, Rabbit. Space Jam. Why can't I think of
Lola Bunny?
Lola Bunny. Yes, there we go.
Muse. When you start working a bunny into there, I mean, it's a little weird. Not gonna lie to you. She's a bunny, not a human.
She's a cartoon.
A cartoon bunny, not a cartoon human.
I think a lot of people would back me up on Lola Bunny.
With
I think a lot of people would, actually.
Paulie?
I mean, she's cute for a bunny, but
See,
She's a bunny.
Paul gets it.
it's
Yeah, she's a bunny.
not a human.
I don't think you can go there, Muse. Doesn't feel right.
It's a cartoon.
Doesn't feel right. Carmen Sandiego. Carmen Sandiego or Lola Bunny.
A Carmen Sandiego.
Any human cartoon or Lola Bunny.
A human cartoon.
Okay,
But I'm
that's
just
the point.
saying.
You have to put the qualifier out there, Muse, because otherwise it sounds like you're into
Well,
bunnies.
yeah, no, not into
what
bunnies.
it sounded like a little bit.
Not into bunnies.
I don't know what it sounded like a little bit. Oh, we just wasted that segment.
Well,
did we really waste it?
I was about to say beauty's in the eye of the beholder, right? I mean,
mark that one down for the LA Bees next year. We'll make sure we include that. Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego?
Bam, award.
Give me the poll results. Do we have any early Twitter poll results?
Yeah. Well, hold on. I was replying to our guy.
I'm not worried about your guy. Give me the Twitter polls.
Well, okay.
Wait, hang on. Brad Newman is. Well, no, I can't read that one. Darren Reeves, Betty Boop. See, Betty Boop's annoying. I can't get down with Betty Boop. No, I can't get down with Betty Boop.
Also, yes, 78%. Yes.
78%?
78%, yes.
Derek Russo said a hot girl cartoon character list sounds very T-Bob-ish. That is actually so true. That is a very, very astute observation there, Derek Russo. Hat tip to you.
OTB tier list that they like to do.
Alphonse Smith, God bless you, Matt. You're a national treasure for the Carmen Sandiego reference.
Okay.
Can I have an applause, please? Do you not have an applause track?
I don't think we do.
All right, I need an applause track.
Okay.
Russell Hull, dude, I'm 41. Me and my sister used to watch this. Ricky Compton, original PC game, 1985. Played Carmen Sandiego at my grandfather's house on his Commodore 64. That was Aaron Goldberg. I'm telling you, this is my audience. I know there's a lot of young people listening going, old ball guy, shut up. There's a lot of older people saying, well, no, I bet the older people remember their kids playing it or watching it. I bet you.
I mean, how could you not, if you knew it, how could you not remember it? Because it's so catchy. Like, the theme song's awesome.
Wayne Letts, haven't heard this since the Oregon Trail. I'm telling you, I hit home. Every now and again, Muse. Every now and again, I throw a dart right in the bullseye, and I did it with the car. Hey, let me hear a little bit of it going out.
All right.
Just give me a little bit more of that there.
Well, hold on.
I want to hear it.
I want to restart it. Let me
give me a little bit more. Well, we don't have all day here because we're already late for break. Hit it for me.
Former LSU football assistants.
Steal their soul in South Korea, making money comes right off the move. Red Sea to Greenland, they'll be singing the blues. Well, they never Arkansas her steal. The meat come from the
All right, go to break.
AFR.
We're brought to you by the Renaissance Hotel and the Watermark Hotel. Two awesome hotel properties, the Watermark downtown, the Renaissance Southtown. Hey, let me remind you that coming up a week from Friday, that is Friday the 23rd, the next installment of Evenings at the Renaissance. By the way, am I mistaken? Is next Friday a day game at the box as well, or is it a night game? Is it? Are you sure? I don't think so. I think I looked at it today.
I'm positive their first night game on Friday is Texas and Houston.
I think you're wrong.
I'm 100% positive.
I think you're wrong.
Okay.
I think I looked at it earlier today. Anyway, Evenings at the Renaissance, tapas and tequila on the 23rd, 6:30 to 9:30 over at the Renaissance Hotel, Tallulah, then also there on the terrace at Tallulah inside the Renaissance. It's a great place. You can go experience some new cocktails. You can have a great night out, something different and so convenient on Bluebonnet right there near I-10 across between the mall and Perkins Row. It's the Renaissance Hotel. The Watermark downtown, the Renaissance Southtown right there on Bluebonnet. It's Evenings at the Renaissance. Next one coming up next Friday, February 23rd. Check them out at the Renaissance Hotel.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Well, if you ever want to question if people are listening or not, just bring up something from pop culture in years past, and the responses will flow. The Carmen Sandiego conversation is blowing up on the text line right now, and I'm here for it. All right, it's after further review. Muso, Tigers and the Pros.
Tigers and the Pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
All righty, let's kick it off with the NBA, shall we? Nets, first half of a back-to-back. Ben Simmons last night, 5 points in the game, but the real, where he thrives is the assists, 8 of them, including this nice dime right here to Dorian Finney-Smith, just kind of right from the top of the key, dishes it through 3 guys, and it's not working, is it? Darn it! Take my word for it, it was great. He dished it through 3 guys.
You actually tried to send me a video clip.
Bounce pass. It was sick.
Can I make a suggestion and get it on Twitter X next time?
That's what I'm going to try to do.
And not on...
oh, here we go. Here it is. Look at this.
There it is.
Smooth. Just right. They're so good from Ben.
Here, I'll rewind it for you. There you go. There's Benny boy.
5 points, 8 assists. He also added 6 rebounds.
All right.
His teammate, Cam Thomas, dropped 26 last night. Shot 50% from the floor. How about that? Just rolling Cam Thomas. But the Nets lost to the Celtics. One thing to update you on here on the G. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot about Naz Reid. That's my mistake.
Should have stayed.
Hey, he should have stayed. If he would have stayed, I wouldn't have forgot about him. Solid night, plus 18. 10 points for Naz. Nifty little layup here that we're showing you. Just blow by. A little curl.
Radio audience can't
Loved it. That's why I also described it. Anyway. The 10 points for Naz in that one. 1 G League to get you up to date on. It was KJ Williams near double-double with 8 points and 8 rebounds.
Ooh, okay.
Yep. 8 points near double-double.
Who's he playing
Just missed
for?
it. He's with the Oklahoma City Blues, so he's in the Thunder's organization.
Okay.
Is KJ Williams there.
I'm now, babe. There
we go. And golf, Genesis gets underway tomorrow. Sam Burns in the field, teeing off 9:01 a.m. He's paired with Victor Hovland. I know you're going to ask, but there is no updated tournament this week for the Korn Ferry Tour. That's Tigers in the Press.
Presented by South Point Volkswagen, who happen to be huge Curtis Thompson fans, unlike Musso, who's nothing but a giant hater.
I like Curtis Thompson an awful lot.
Not as much as our friends at South Point Volkswagen.
Probably not.
Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer. Airline just north of Highland. Get on by. You know, I've been able to drive the Taos this week, which is the compact SUV. My vehicle, my Crossport, is in the shop after I told you I had a run-in with a piece of tread from an 18-wheeler's tire. So my hood is being replaced right now. So I was at the rent-a-car place the other day, and they told me you could choose between the Ford and the Jeep. And literally as I was standing there coming out of the car wash and parking was a Volkswagen Taos. I said, can I have the Volkswagen? They said, you want that? Like, yes, that's what I want, because I'd rather be in one of the safest vehicles on the road, a Volkswagen. You get all the style, the feel, the performance of luxury without the cost. And, of course, Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer is South Point Volkswagen, and they are manufactured right here in the good old US of A at their Chattanooga, Tennessee plant, so it's the best of all worlds. If you're in the market for a vehicle, shop new or certified pre-owned at South Point Volkswagen. SouthPointVW.com. South Point Volkswagen, what's your direction? By the way, Carla Sharp, shout out. Thanks to love our female audience. Carla Sharp is 64 years old. I probably shouldn't have said that on air, but on the text app, when you put your profile in, it says your age. She said, my oldest son is 41. I remember him playing Carmen Sandiego. See? So the only people who aren't in on this are the young people right now. We're like, hey, shut up, old guy. Move on. Nobody cares about your 1985 video game. But you know what I've learned too, Muse?
What's that?
Vintage apparel is such a thing now.
Yeah.
Like my niece, shout out Reese Anderman, wears Nirvana shirts. She ain't never listened to Nirvana. I probably don't even know what Nirvana is. Anyway, hour 3 coming up right after SportsCenter.
AFR.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $20,000 off new 23 Ram 1500 Black Widow trucks, $20,000 off new Ram 1500 trucks, and all new Bayou Automotive vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Join MMR and ignite your career today. MMR is the largest electrical and instrumentation contractor in the nation, and they're seeking talented individuals to join their team. For over 3 decades, they've been headquartered right here in Baton Rouge, and they have offices all around the globe.
And MMR offers a tailored path for both professional and personal development, outstanding benefits, and a dynamic culture. So whether you're an intern, a seasoned pro, or you're just starting out, see what MMR can offer you. Apply at mmrgrp.com.
It was a humid day, barefoot children play, looking for that summer shade. Time just slips away. Oh, Louisiana, some kind of hold on me. Like cypress stumps, your roots are planted deep inside of me.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial properties, so retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. A celebration of the Chiefs' second straight Super Bowl title turned to tragedy. One person has died, 10 to 15 others injured after a shooting at the team's championship parade in Kansas City today. KC Police Chief Stacey Graves.
There were shots fired on the west side of Union Station. Immediately, officers responded to the area, took 2 people into custody, and also immediately rendered life-sustaining aid to those victims.
All Chiefs players and staff are safe and have been accounted for. Stay tuned to ESPN Radio for the latest on this story. NBA Commissioner Adam Silver told the Pat McAfee Show Las Vegas is definitely on the league's list of cities under consideration for expansion franchises. A day after 49ers coach Kyle Shanahan said he expected his coaching staff back largely intact, the team fired defensive coordinator Steve Wilks. Shanahan told reporters it ended up not being the right fit. Notre Dame will play Army at Yankee Stadium in November in a celebration of the 100th anniversary of the fabled Four Horsemen. Ohio State fired basketball coach Chris Holtmann. OSU owes him $12 million in guaranteed money.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. At Progressive, they're making things even easier. They'll help you bundle your home and car insurance together so you can save on both. Learn more at progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
That's right.
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Yusu. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there, make it a good one. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you are driving home with us and a ton to do. Klint Kubiak talking about joining the Saints on Monday morning, quarterback or MMQB. We'll get to that. Tommy White with a great honor. Some SP Plus rankings over at ESPN.com for LSU football. Ton to do. Saw this earlier today. It's an update on something we've talked about loosely for some time now, and it's this Amazon documentary about LSU athletics with a focus on NIL. And it turns out Amazon, this is according to this report, is by Sportico, is going to pay LSU $1 million for their participation. Who better to ask than Cody Worsham, LSU's chief brand officer, is good enough to join us now. How are you, dude?
Hey, Matt, I'm good. How are you?
Great. How much of the $1 million do you get?
Zero. I need to work on my negotiating skills, apparently. That's why I'm not an agent, I suppose.
No, it was interesting, though, because I think I told this on air, Cody, when we were in New York for the Heisman at the post-Heisman Award party,
yep.
I walked in kind of late, and you were standing in that hallway being interviewed by the documentary people, so I had to wait for you to finish.
Yeah.
But very clearly, you were working hand in hand with them throughout that week. Can you kind of walk us through let's just go back to the beginning. How did this all come about?
Yeah, I was actually looking at my calendar to try to – it was such a long journey. I think we actually first started talking about this in the fall of 21. Shortly after NIL was launched, and we knew there was going to be some interest and some storytelling around this, and so we looked at some options. And I think fall of 21, we had been approached by a couple of groups, and we kind of tabled it and said, let's get through football season and figure it out. And I think spring of 22 is when it really picked up. The conversation picked up, but they really wanted to. We had first multiple companies come to us and production companies that wanted to do something on LSU, whether it was NIL focused or maybe sports specific or multiple sports. These companies just wanted to get some access and tell some stories here. And so we wanted to be very deliberate and thorough with how we did that, make sure we partner with the right groups, make sure we put our student athletes first. And so we took our time on that front. And then really last year is when we kind of started ramping up, getting through all the pitches, all the negotiations, and finally got things done in time for this academic year. So they were with us for much of football season and been with us ever since, following us along and getting tons of behind-the-scenes access.
Can you walk us through the process from the standpoint of, what I'm reading here is that Amazon Prime is, I guess, they've green-lighted the docuseries.
Yep.
But is it something where the production company makes it and then goes and sells the idea, or is this Amazon who buys it and then outsources it?
Yeah, typically, first it's the agreement has to be done between the production studio. In this case, it's Campfire and Axios have teamed up on it, and then the party of the contract, which is us. So that's the first domino here. And then once that agreement is in place, the production studio goes out and shops it to various streaming services, so Netflix and Amazon and Hulu and et cetera, et cetera. So imagine that times, 5 or 6, because we had 5 or 6 companies that came to us with their different ideas. There was a lot of Zoom calls, a lot of pitches, a lot of decks, a lot of presentations and conversations. But through all that, Campfire and Axios were the right partners for us. They had a shared vision of what we want to do and the story that they wanted to tell and how we could tell it, really focusing on the student athletes. And then in the end, Shaq and his production company got involved, and that was kind of the icing on the cake for us, because anytime Shaq's involved, it's something we want to be a part of.
So what is Cody Worsham's our guest? So what is Shaq's involvement or his company's involvement?
Yeah, they got in on the back end. He had his company had approached us with a different project in mind that wasn't quite the right fit for anybody. And so on the back end, I think he had some relationships with Campfire, and they brought him in an executive production role, which is important. He's for us, what I always say is Shaq's kind of the godfather of NIL. I mean, he's the one that kind of got it started in the collegiate space with branding himself and building his brand at LSU and working with Tommy Karam. He's told that story a million times about how he invented his Shaq character at LSU. So having him involved now is kind of a full circle moment where, the guy that put LSU on the map in terms of branding student athletes individually is now involved in telling that story. I think it's, as a storyteller, I think that's exactly what you're looking for.
Cody Worsham's with us, LSU's chief brand officer. If you haven't heard, Amazon Prime has green-lighted the docu-series that's been in production. I mean, it's been in the works for almost 3 years now, as Cody, or at least the initial conversations for almost 3 years now. So, Cody, sometimes, you just get lucky. I mean, this was green-lighted before Jaden's Heisman season. And then they're chronicling a Heisman season. I mean, can you walk me through how that changed or evolved this project?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny how the conversations evolve. Like, I'll give you a little behind the scenes. You know, they originally wanted to get on campus last academic year, and we just couldn't get all the pieces in place for that. And we wanted to make sure we did this the right way. And really from the start, our thing was our student athletes have so many burdens on their schedule. They have so many demands. Like, whoever does this, however we do this, it's got to be in a way that works with their schedule. And so we really had to work through that process. And so when they first were pitching the story, it was more like, hey, what about this quarterback battle with this transfer quarterback and Jaden Daniels? And I think Miles Brennan was still on the roster at the time. And, you know, they had, Miles made a big splash in NIL early. So they had this whole different vision of what the story was going to be. And then fast forward to this year, as they kind of started rolling with the story, you know, I remember very vividly after the Florida game, seeing some of the documentary crew on the field and said, congratulations, you're now telling a story about a Heisman Trophy winner. And they kind of looked at me like, you think he's got it won? And I was probably a little overconfident in the moment like we all were, but I said, I think he won it tonight. And I mean, that's luck. That's just, it's a testament to Jaden and his unbelievable ability and Coach Kelly and their program's ability to get the most out of him this year. But to have a crew here telling that story on such a large stage was, it was just good luck.
Oh, man. It's pretty incredible. So, Jaden, Olivia Dunn, Angel Reese, Flauget are all involved. Who else is involved?
Yeah, there's a couple more. I think there's maybe a couple other athletes. The challenge there is I'm not privy to those contracts. So I know they've been covering some other student athletes. I think a couple gymnasts, a couple track athletes they've been following around. I don't know if they actually have deals with them or not, because those are a bit separate from us. But I think what their goal was, and this was our vision too, is yes, we have some elite high level NIL earners, and I think those are obviously fascinating stories, and people want to see how Olivia and Flauget and Angel and Jaden handle that kind of high level of NIL. But we also wanted to tell the story of, you know, the hustlers, the ones that are, you know, maybe not the biggest stars in the market per se, but are working hard to, you know, create opportunities for themselves. I think that's just as important a part of the NIL story as every other angle. And we all know all the other angles, but there is an angle to this too, where there's some student athletes who are able to create opportunities for themselves at LSU that they couldn't do otherwise. So I know they've been on the ground floor with some of those athletes as well, and I'm excited to see that full picture of the story, because I think it's one, like, even me working in college athletics and being in the athletic department, like I don't see everything, and so I can't imagine what a unique insight it's going to be for fans who you know don't get to see the whole story of what it's like to be a student athlete in this era.
Yeah. Do we know when an anticipated release will be?
Yeah, my understanding is that it'll be sometime late summer, early fall. I don't want to speak on behalf of Campfire, because that's up to them and Amazon. That's on their production schedule. My understanding is late summer, early fall. We'll have something out there.
Did they get the women's basketball championship run too, and everything that followed?
They did not. No, they started.
Oh, man.
They started after that. No, you can only ask for so much luck here, Matt. I mean, we're just glad to get the Heisman run and some of the stuff they've been around for this year. But no, they started this fall, I think, actually on the ground filming.
All right, that's going to be incredible to see. Last thing was, do you know if there are other universities that they also approached, or that are other projects like this in the works?
I don't. I know in our conversations with Campfire, their interest was on LSU, and I think it was a combination of the way we kind of rolled out our NIL and our messaging, the student athletes that we had here, the brand of LSU athletics, the success. I think they were focused on that. Some of the other projects we got approached with were a little bit more, hey, we want to focus on one team, and we're going to focus on, you know, your football team, but we're going to focus on 3 or 4 other football teams, or we're going to focus on your women's basketball team as well as 3 or 4 other. And that wasn't really a path we wanted to go down. We wanted to keep it about LSU and keep it focused on our student athletes. But I think you're going to see more projects like this across the country. I think you're going to see other athletic departments, you know, provide access, and it creates an additional revenue stream, which is important. For me, I think what made us excited about it was creating the opportunity for our student athletes. Anytime you hear Scott Woodward talk, that's what he talks about is, giving our student athletes a world-class experience. And this is just what we hope is another opportunity for them to not only experience something unique in their college careers, but, create a brand for themselves that they can build on here at LSU and then when they're done at LSU.
Yeah. Student athletes, in this report I saw from Sportico, are going to get a talent fee. So in addition to the money that LSU is being paid for their cooperation, are you in the talent fee for the interview you gave at the Heisman deal?
Unfortunately not. I think they actually told me that if I wanted to be on it, I'd have to pay them. So you probably won't see me, much to the disappointment of your audience who couldn't wait to see me on their big screens. They'll have to see someone else, I guess.
He's Cody Worsham, LSU's Chief Brand Officer. Good stuff, man. Thanks for the time.
Thanks, Matt. Anytime.
All right, bud. We'll see you. That's Cody Worsham. This is After Further Review. We're brought to you by Shaw Bills. Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service, ShawBillsTire.com, with locations all over South Louisiana, 17 locations in all, and online at ShawBillsTire.com. That's ShawBillsTire.com. By the way, this is so awesome. Like, they have extended the deal for Bridgestone and Firestone tires that we've been telling you about. But even beyond that, sort of an all brands extension where you can get free installation, which is a $110 value when you use your Shaw Bills credit card. So I always encourage you when you go to Shaw Bills, use that Shaw Bills credit card. They're going to save you even more. They work so hard to combine deals and offers to get you the best possible price on the best possible tire. So you're getting name brand tires at wholesale prices. It's at Shaw Bills. Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service. ShawBillsTire.com. Shaw Bills, where we keep you rolling. All right, we are going to get to Pluckers Trivia in about 15 minutes, so we'll see how many Muse misses this week. Another honor for Tommy White. Jay Johnson met with reporters just a bit ago as Tigers are less than 48 hours away from opening day over at the Box. When we come back, Klint Kubiak gave an interview to MMQB over at SI, and I was really interested. I guess it's not SI anymore, but MMQB. It was interesting some of the things he said about his approach and working with Kyle Shanahan and all that stuff. And he's the new Saints offensive coordinator, so it's the first time the Saints have hired a new offensive coordinator since 2009. So it's pretty fascinating as we roll up our sleeves and dig deeper into this. We'll get to that next. It's AFR.
AFR.
Get Gordon, get it done. You heard it on the Super Bowl. Here's Flau'jae with the new rap. Hit it, Muse.
Get Gordon, and get it done. Yeah, I'm a Gordon. I know that he gon' get it done. Whether it's a big truck crash or a hit and run, recovery funds, he fighting to get a ton. Mike Epps, man, we all about the Benjamin. Handling injuries, man, are you kidding me? Gordon McKernan, that's champion energy. Yeah, family man with a family plan. Get Gordon, he gon' fix it like a handyman. Get Gordon.
Flau'jae. No, leave it going. The Get Gordon rap, you got to love it. The Get Gordon rap is awesome to begin with. I think Flau'jae just took it to 100. So, if you've been injured in an accident, you know what to do. Do what injured people in our state have done for more than 30 years. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys with offices all over the state. You can always call the 888-8888. That's 888-8888. Go to getgordon.com. That's getgordon.com. Maybe the coolest NIL deal I've heard so far, the Flau'jae Get Gordon rap. You know what to do. Get Gordon. Get it done.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Elevate brand visibility, ignite customer engagement with the power of radio and digital advertising combined. Guarantee Digital Media brings the two together as a trusted media partner in Louisiana for nearly a century. Claim your free digital audit at guaranteemedia.com.
Happy New Year from your friends at Front to Back Boat Service. And what better way to kick off your new year than by taking your boat to the next level? Get the boat of your dreams, and that's where Front to Back comes into play. You want that spot lock trolling motor that's going to keep you right there on the water where you need to be. How about some forward-facing sonar that actually shows you the fish before you even cast? Custom stereo jobs, all of it. Sherman family's been doing it.
To get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana.
the local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
I've been doing business with Luber for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
One of the more controversial parts of Super Bowl 58 was the Big Yeti coming in contact with Big Red when Travis Kelce came over to the sideline and bumped Andy Reid. Bumped is putting it mildly. On the New Heights podcast, Jason and Travis Kelce both discussed the sideline incident during the Super Bowl.
People are all over this. I mean, I get it.
You crossed the line. I think we can both agree on that.
I can't get that fired up to the point where I'm bumping Coach and it's getting him off balance and stuff.
I mean, let's be honest. The yelling in his face, too, is over the top. I think there's better ways to handle this.
I love Coach Reid. Coach Reid knows how much I love to play for him. I'm not playing for anybody else but Big Red. If he calls it quits this year, I'm out there with him, man. I immediately wish I would have took it back. Coach Reid actually came right up to me after that, and he just let him know, hey, man, I love your passion. I got cameras on me all over the place, man.
He's letting you know not to be like that.
Just fired me up even more to go out there and get a victory for him, man. Big Red, sorry if I caught you with that cheap shot, baby. But damn, I love winning with you.
So that was Kelce sort of on his podcast. And even Jason Kelce called him the carpet on. It's like, it's over there. Even yelling at him is over the line. So, I mean, the most interesting thing to me about that, listen, it's heated. It's the Super Bowl. He wanted the ball. We all know what happened. We get what happened there. It was unfortunate. It was terrible. But Travis Kelce also is completely got a pass on this as well, because I mean I can think back to Latrell Sprewell and PJ Carlissimo. Now that was putting your hands around the coach's neck and fighting. We saw it with Van Gundy back in the day, with Jeff Van Gundy with the Knicks. Was that Sprewell also? Was it Sprewell? It was Sprewell with Carlissimo. Was it Sprewell with Van Gundy as well with the Knicks? I don't remember. Can you look that up? I'm pretty sure that was Latrell Sprewell as well. Anyway, but the point is, it's interesting. There aren't many athletes that would have gotten a total pass for running up to the coach, yelling in his face, and bumping him that way. But Travis Kelce did. Maybe proving he's Teflon as well. He's fail-proof, maybe this instance. But I love the passion. I love wanting to go up to his coach and say, give me the ball. But knocking Andy Reid over is a huge man in and of itself. It just struck me that he's kind of completely got a pass on the whole thing. Anyway, do you have it?
The one I'm seeing is when he choked and punched the Warriors coach.
Well, that was Carlissimo.
Yeah,
but there was a game in the Garden when Jeff Van Gundy was the coach of the Knicks, and a player reached for him, grabbed his neck. And I thought it was Sprewell as well. Anyway, see if you can find it. Someone will text me and say it as well. See if someone's texted the show. I don't know. All right. It's after further review. We're glad to have you aboard with us here. We are obviously going to spend a lot of time over this week and the coming weeks, this entire offseason, talking about Klint Kubiak becoming the Saints offensive coordinator. And it's justified. Look, Sean Payton was hired in 2006. His first coordinator was Doug Marrone. Marrone became the head coach at Syracuse. They elevate Pete Carmichael in 2009, and he's been in that role since, until now. So this is the first time since 2009 we're looking at a new idea, a fundamental shift in what the Saints are offensively, because even when Sean Payton left, still having Pete Carmichael there the last 2 seasons, it still just felt like an extension of the Sean Payton system. So this is the first time in 15 years that there's going to be really actually in 19 years since we've had like a true shift in ideas offensively. And it was so interesting to me reading MMQB earlier today, talking about Kubiak, leaving San Francisco, coming to New Orleans, and Kubiak talked to Breer, and some of the quotes were just so interesting about the perspective of the two of them having worked together. Like, Kubiak said, quote, "Just being here a year, my experience is Kyle Shanahan lets you into his brain in his game plan meetings. He's thinking out loud and what he's looking for, what he wants to attack, the players he wants to attack certain coverages with. He's such a bright coach. Just to be around him, you soak in the things that are important to him and things he uses to make decisions. I would say he's very forthcoming with his assistants. He's also very challenging with us. He demands a lot out of us and gets the most out of us." So, interesting quote. And there was much more in this piece. Kubiak said of Shanahan, "There's pressure, but what I found is it's good pressure. You have to have a plan A, plan B, plan C, and you better know why you're bringing up what you're bringing up. It's all for the right reasons." He goes on and on. I would highly recommend you go read it. I want to just sit here and read quotes. But, what was illustrated in this explanation, to me anyway, is why teams that have gone and plucked branches off of the Shanahan-McVay tree have had success with it. Because of the way Kyle Shanahan handles his business with his assistants. I was thinking of it this way. I'm trying to make it relevant to where it's not sports related. Like, did you ever have like an internship, or did you have an entry level job in your field? Like, if you're going to be a doctor, if you're a resident and you got to learn from a world renowned surgeon, or if you clerked at a high-end law firm and you watched the best in their field work every single day, if you were an apprentice at like a woodworking shop and you got to watch a master craftsman work with his tools, like, I'll tell you my personal experience. Like, I related so much to what Kubiak said, because at the very beginning of my radio career, I did news and I was working at WIBR, and Ed Buggs was hosting Afternoon Drive, and I got to produce his show. And many people who are in this market remember Ed from TV and then from talk radio. And I got to sit in a radio studio for 4 hours a day, every day, and watched an insanely talented man work at his craft. And I got to watch him and his nuance, and then in breaks, just converse about why he did what he did and how he was setting things up. And those are things that to this day, if you could go back and listen to Ed Buggs shows from 2003, 4, 5, 6, you would hear parts of me because I'm imitating things I learned from him 20 years ago. And I think of that in terms of how a doctor may learn from a surgeon, or just like someone who's a woodworker, or learn as apprenticing in someone's shop, whatever the profession is. Like, when you watch someone who is at the top of their game, if they're willing to let you into their thought process of why they're doing what they're doing, you can learn from that and then take that and blend it with your own style. So that's the hope. I'm not saying that Mike McDaniel in Miami is running the exact plays and sequence and terminology as what Kyle Shanahan's doing with the 49ers. But because he sat in those meeting rooms, this is what Kubiak's telling you, because he sat in those meeting rooms and listened to Shanahan or McVay when they were in Washington together and heard them explain why they were doing what they were doing, the plan of attack in a certain formation, and it clicks, well, then you take that and build upon it. And that's my hope with Kubiak coming to New Orleans. I don't think he's going to come to New Orleans and just cut and paste. He's not just going to bring his San Francisco 49ers playbook and just walk into the meeting room day one and hand it out to all the offensive players. But in having the opportunity to sit in those meetings, to game plan, to go through film, as he says, you better have a plan A, B, C, and explain why you're bringing that and be ready to defend what you're proposing. It brings a different level of expertise and expectation that you can then build off of. So I am really hopeful that Klint Kubiak coming in is going to bring new ideas to help modernize the Saints offense. I'm hopeful of that. I'm hopeful that because of the way you watch Christian McCaffrey involved in San Francisco, or the way you watch guys like Mostert in Miami in that offense, like, I'm hopeful we see sort of a resurgence with that. Now, Kamara caught 75 balls this year, but maybe we see even at 20, Kamara will be 29 by the time this season starts. But I'm hopeful we see a resurgence of Alvin Kamara in the 2024 season in this offense, in the way that we've seen Christian McCaffrey who's an amazing player in Carolina. We knew all the talent and ability that he had there, but he had some injury issues and it was up and down on a bad team. He goes into San Francisco and it's like this magic unlock, and you have a guy in McCaffrey who's an MVP candidate. Maybe that's the same thing for Alvin. And then you could look at the quarterbacks as well. And I don't know. Listen, Kyle Shanahan went to a Super Bowl. Like, he made Matt Ryan an MVP and went to a Super Bowl. He went to a Super Bowl with Jimmy Garoppolo. He goes and takes Brock Purdy. And I know there's all the conversation about Purdy and is it system, is it him? The bottom line is, I don't know the answer to that, but what I do know is Kyle Shanahan's taken every damn quarterback he's ever had and won at a high level. Do I think that you could take Brock Purdy, put him on the Jets and make him a contender? No, I do not. Do I think you could take Derek Carr, put him in San Francisco and make them a contender? I do, because I've seen him do it with Garoppolo and now Purdy, and he would have done it with Trey Lance if he needed to. You understand my point? So I'm hopeful that Kubiak coming to New Orleans maximizes Derek Carr, whatever that looks like. I don't think that looks like him as an MVP candidate, but can you get this guy to function within an offense to maximize the talent around you? That's my hope. That's my hope around this. And I think it just made sense to me today. It clicked when I was reading this interview and these quotes, because I think it's relatable to anybody in any profession that's ever studied under, worked for, apprenticed under someone who's a master at their craft, to learn from him. It's why conceptually people went after Bill Belichick's assistants or Nick Saban's assistants in college. And it doesn't always work. Like, the proximity theory doesn't always work. But I think there's reason to believe, because of the success Shanahan's assistants have had other places, and relatively quickly, that it can work here as well. So that's my hope. It's my hope. I don't know that I believe it's reality. I don't know that I believe that the Saints are going to turn around and be a top 5 offense or top 10 offense in the NFL next year and win the division and go to the playoffs and make a run. I don't think they have the talent to do that. But if nothing else, there's reason for optimism because it's something different. And I don't believe it. I say this, like, I don't believe in change for the sake of change. But when what you're doing isn't working, maintaining the status quo and expecting a different result is insanity. In changing your offensive approach, there's at least the hope that it can be better. Because if you had maintained the status quo, there was no realistic expectation to think it was going to be different. If you ran it back with Carr and Pete Carmichael and expected something different, that would have been foolish. At least now you can say it could be different. It could be better, and I'm hopeful it will be. All right, it's after further review. Let me knock out a quick break. We got some Pluckers trivia to get to, another honor for Tommy White. Otterlocks coming up. Stay here. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Darren James and Associates, brokered by LPT Realty. And I love telling you about all of the new realtors that are joining LPT, the fastest growing real estate company literally ever. In 1 year, they've gone from launch to 8,000 realtors. And LPT is welcoming Leslie Ortego to the team as well, the newest real estate professional joining the LPT family. If you're a realtor and you want to know why so many of your colleagues are joining LPT, call Darren James today. 335-7666, 335-7666, or agent225.com. Learn about the marketing tools, the collaboration, and yes, a groundbreaking revenue share with how they pay their agents. The compensation plan is revolutionizing the real estate industry. It's Darren James and Associates, brokered by LPT Realty. Agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial properties. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Pluckers Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Pluckers Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
All right, we are going to get to our Pluckers trivia here in just a quick second. Saints have made it official just minutes ago, announcing the hiring of Klint Kubiak as their offensive coordinator from the 49ers. It had been reported for weeks. It apparently became official right after the Super Bowl. The Saints now have formally made the announcement from all of their social media accounts and everything. So Klint Kubiak officially now is the New Orleans Saints offensive coordinator. Two other quick little tidbits. Forgive me, I X'd out of one. Of course, that's what I get for trying to go super fast. Discard that. My apologies, y'all. Two quick tidbits. Breaking news, Muse. Give me some sound here to kill my dead air. Give me a sound effect. Nick Underhill reporting. We'll get you full reaction on all this tomorrow, but Nick Underhill reporting Saints are interviewing Keith Williams to be their wide receiver coach. He was the assistant wide receiver coach in Baltimore the last 3 seasons. Has ties to New Orleans, as Nick notes. He was the Tulane wide receiver coach from 2012 to 2014. And the one other note, also breaking news from Matt Zenitz of 247. Saints expected to hire Derek Foster as the new running backs coach. Foster, last 3 years with the Chargers, where he worked with players like Austin Eckler, previously worked at Iowa. So Derek Foster set to become the new running backs coach for the New Orleans Saints. He did note that in 3 seasons under Derek Foster, Austin Eckler produced 44 scrimmage touchdowns. It was the most in the NFL during that span. So Saints are changing it up offensively. It's something that needed to happen, and they're making those movements now, of course, since the Super Bowl is over. All right, it is After Further Review. We are glad to have you hanging out with us here. We do this every Wednesday because our Hump Day shows are brought to you by Pluckers, where every Wednesday it's trivia over at Pluckers. So we get a little sampling of the trivia questions for tonight over at Pluckers. We ask Muse these questions, and he gets them all wrong. So hit it, Muse.
It's time for Pluckers Trivia. How many will Musso get wrong today? Pluckers Trivia. Every Wednesday night, 7:30 at Bluebonnet, 8 o'clock at Nicholson.
Okay.
All righty.
Muse.
Yeah.
Fill in the blank.
Oh.
Where in the world is
Carmen Sandiego?
That is correct. However, that's not one of the questions. All right. Valentine's Day today. Muse, what you doing on Valentine's Day?
I'm going to end this show and then go record a podcast and then go home.
What's the name of your podcast?
Musso at the Box.
Muse. Don't miss the opportunity.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay. Remember I was just telling you about learning stuff?
Yeah.
Were you listening to the last segment?
Well, I nailed it in the companion show, man. I threw it out there real fast that night. I nailed that.
I think our audience right now is slightly bigger than the companion show.
I mean, yeah. But I'm just saying, like, this is a slight there on my part. Sorry, Musso at the Box. Go subscribe up to the YouTube channel. Just type in Musso at the Box.
All right, don't
there.
Be gratuitous. All right, let's we get it. Muse,
you said don't miss the opportunity.
Right. And the door was open. Yeah. That door is now closed because it's 42 after the hour. Paulie, what are you doing tonight for Valentine's Day? Big plan?
No, we're going home and eating dinner like normal.
Got it. Casanova's in set.
What are you doing for Valentine's Day?
Got a surprise dinner plan. Got a few gifts for E-Rock.
All right.
Be a good night. All right, Muse, name the breakup movie from its tagline.
Oh, so that's what we're doing on Valentine's Day.
Name the breakup movie from its tagline. You ready?
Yeah.
You can erase someone from your mind. Getting them out of your heart is another story. You can erase someone from your mind. Getting them out of your heart is another story.
It's a breakup movie? Okay. How about The Breakup?
No. No. It would be Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
What?
On Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah.
Who did Cordelia dump on Valentine's Day?
Oh. I've never seen Buffy the Vampire Slayer, so that was a little bit before me. Buffy? I don't know. Well, Buffy was a chick, though, right?
You never saw Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It was a little before you. Is that what you said?
Yeah, like I'm sure I was actually alive when the show was out, but it wasn't. I was young. It wasn't.
You ever
in
seen
my
Christmas
wheelhouse.
Vacation?
I have seen Christmas Vacation.
Yeah, that was before you too.
It was.
Xander was the answer. We're looking for 0 for 2. Let's just go ahead and make it the bagel, Muse.
Let's
Why not?
do it.
Here we go. The card game Hearts is a member of the whist family of trick-taking games. Name one of the other two games, and a bonus point if you get both of them.
Spades?
Yes!
Spades?
Give yourself a ding.
Oh, yeah. Well, okay. Oh, wait. Do that one. Gin?
No.
No.
Bridge was the other. However,
okay.
You didn't wear the collar, Muse. Congratulations on not being totally inept at trivia this week. Just predominantly inept. But go subscribe up to Musso at the Box on your favorite podcast app. And subscribe up to After Further Review as well. Favorite podcast app, you miss anything, AFR On Demand. Presented by Breck Golf. Book your tee time at golf.breck.org, golf.breck.org. Okay, it's After Further Review. Love telling you about Relief Windows. Energy-efficient replacement windows, beautiful entry doors, hardy plank and vinyl siding. Relief Windows, nobody does it better. There's a reason why over the last decade, for more than a decade now, Brandon Holly, Relief Windows, synonymous in our state, in the Southeast region with windows. If you want exceptional customer service, quality windows, a great customer service experience, all at a fair price, that's Relief Windows. Remember, windows, doors, siding, oh yeah, we do indoor shutters as well. So if you have those interior shutters, Relief Windows can help you. Why would you call anyone else? I cannot fathom why you would call anyone else. You want the best customer service? When I say this, does this really resonate? Like, they will not take $1 from you until they're done and you're thrilled. They don't take a deposit. They take all the risk. They're going to spend the money to buy your custom windows and will not take $1 from you until you are thrilled. Is there any other company that would even fathom that idea? Brandon Holly will, because he guarantees you're going to be thrilled every single time. It's Relief Windows and reliefwindows.com. Okay, we'll do this more tomorrow. We'll get into a full-on LSU baseball preview tomorrow on the show. We're looking forward to that. Jay Johnson, Luke Holman, Alex Milazzo, I believe, among those that met with reporters today. So we'll get you a full recap of everything that was said today. As on tomorrow's show, we'll be on the doorstep of the start of the LSU baseball season. 2 o'clock Friday, out at the box against VMI. It is almost here for the defending champs. We'll do a lot of previewing tomorrow on the show. We'll look forward to that. All right, let me knock out our final break. We will come back. And, by the way, Tommy White, that was the thing I mentioned. That's what I was walking down that road while I was going there. Tommy White was named top third baseman for this season by D1 Baseball. Tons of preseason honors for these Tigers. One of the really cool things D1 Baseball did as well is they asked all of the coaches in college baseball. I'm not sure if you saw this. D1 Baseball asked every coach in college baseball who they felt was going to win the national championship this year. And of all the responses they got, overwhelmingly, nearly half of the replies were that LSU would win the national championship this year. That's from coaches in college baseball. So it's not just LSU fans and media and players that are high on this team. Yes, they're replacing a ton of talent, but Jay Johnson went out and attacked the transfer portal and brought in a top-tier recruiting class as well. Here was the response. 99 of the coaches that responded said LSU, 49 Wake Forest, 37 Florida, 15 Arkansas. It's also something that you had primarily four programs that were mentioned. Tennessee, Vanderbilt, TCU also received votes among the 251 responses, but 99 of the 251 responses said the LSU Tigers will win the national championship. Okay, Otterlocks next. It's AFR.
AFR.
We're brought to you by Glow Resources. Glow Resources, they are complete employer solutions. If you want to love your employees on Valentine's Day and every day, then you need Glow Resources. Complete employer solutions. What that means is they're targeting you, the business owner. As a matter of fact, at Glow, they really don't even want potential employees calling. They will find you. Glow Resources will find you when they need you. But if you're a business owner and you need employees that are going to be successful in their job, whether it's skilled blue-collar labor or their white-collar division, Glow Resources can help in any industry. So if you need help hiring, Glow Resources can help. They've got the proven track record. Baton Rouge, New Orleans, but Houston, Miami, all over the country. They place employees all over the country and the world. There are complete employer solutions there. Glow Resources. Look them up online at glowresources.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps are held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined we.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Flucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Flucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Down the stretch, we come final segment here on a Hump Day edition of AFR presented by Pluckers. One thing left to do, find out what we're betting on tonight. Time for Otter Locks.
Otter Locks, presented by Lofton Staffing Services. At Lofton, we put people to work. Call us today at 924-0200 or go to lofton.jobs.
So we turn to the one and only, the incomparable and often incomprehensible, the Ott Father himself, Jimmy Ott. Otter, how are you?
Good, Matt. How about you?
I'm doing well, man. We looking at the Pels or against the Pels tonight? 4-game road swing?
A small play. How about we time up into a little parlay with Georgia Tech plus 3.5?
All right. So Pelicans money line?
No. I ain't. No, I'm against the Pels.
Okay, I thought so. Okay.
All right. Line plus the points.
So we're going with Washington plus 14.5.
Uh-huh.
All right, Washington plus 14.5. And Georgia Tech? Or wait, is this a money line parlay with Wait. I'm sorry.
No.
Start
this
over.
is a line parlay, a 2-team parlay.
Got it.
Georgia Tech plus 3.5, Washington plus the point.
All right, Georgia
Nothing
Tech.
big. It doesn't fit the criteria, but we'll throw a little something on it anyway, even though the same philosophy pertains. All right. We had Miami against Clemson when they opened up ACC play, catching points at home. Miami rolled them pretty good. Now the return trip, Miami not doing so good. Clemson is hitting their stride. Clemson got wins at North Carolina, at Tuscaloosa, got robbed in a 1-point loss at Duke. Clemson's going to take a little revenge out, minus the 7 against Miami.
All right, Clemson minus 7. All right.
And then Auburn and South Carolina. Where would you put South Carolina, Matt? Top 20, top 30, top 40, top 10?
I wouldn't have them 11 in the country, but I respect the hell out of what they've done, and I might look at them, had I not been biased by the fact that they were picked 14th in the league.
1 minute remaining.
Maybe higher, but yeah, top 15 sounds right.
Yeah. I respect them too, but Ken Palm, most respected power rating, has them 45. The NAT has them 45.
Okay.
This line strictly to Ken Palm would be 16. That's at 11. Just going to take Auburn. 2/3 of the money is on South Carolina, plus the double digits. That kind of stands out a lot. Taking Auburn minus 11.
Okay. And that is at Auburn Arena, man. That place is a hornet's nest. So
we'll see how popular of a Valentine I am tonight. Let's go, baby.
All right, Otter. Tomorrow, Thursday, downtown?
Yeah, with the original walk-ons getting ready for opening day at Allen Fox.
All right. Otter. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks.
All right, good luck.
All right, same to you again. Clemson laying the 7. Auburn laying 11, and then a money line parlay. Not money line parlay, a line parlay. Georgia Tech plus 3.5. The Washington Wizards plus 14.5. All right, I'll do it for us. Muse, Paulie, thanks. Y'all have a great night. See you tomorrow at 3.
AFR.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $20,000 off new 23 Ram 1500 Black Widow trucks, $20,000 off new Ram 1500 trucks, and all new Bayou Automotive vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Join MMR and ignite your career today. MMR is the largest electrical and instrumentation contractor in the nation, and they're seeking talented individuals to join their team. For over 3 decades, they've been headquartered right here in Baton Rouge, and they have offices all around the globe.
And MMR offers a tailored path for both professional and personal development, outstanding benefits, and a dynamic culture. So whether you're an intern, a seasoned pro, or you're just starting out, see what MMR can offer you. Apply at mmrgrp.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.